This is
You gotta be kidding me.
This
This microphone is so bad. Oh
Dude,
my
why
god.
are you telling me not to touch it? I can just swap it. I can swap it.
I
can
just
literally
had
swap
to
it.
say something so people realize that the audio is not scuffed or anything. Welcome to Plat Chat Overwatch episode 262. We're a little bit late if you're watching live because we don't know where AVRL is. AVRL is missing.
There he is, guys.
There he is. There's our guy.
I asked people in AVRL's Discord where AVRL is, and people just say that AVRL's dead.
You're asking the chat.
Officially dead.
Because maybe
Can
he was
make him
live
great black and
yesterday.
white?
Maybe he tweeted.
No, I like that. It's a little reconnaissance.
Can we put some black and white over him then, if he's dead, according to Discord? Let's
So we
make
don't know where
black and
AVRL
white.
is. The reason we start the podcast so late these days is for AVRL. So AVRL is not here. So yeah, we're a little bit late. That being said, we're still joined by two regulars of the show coming back to the show. We got Aquaman of Overwatch. It's Jaws.
The Aquaman of Overwatch. I mean, that's fine.
It's because he fell off after the second movie. He fell off after the second movie.
Oh, I fell off? Yeah, I fell off after they transitioned to OWCS. I fell off.
God.
Yeah, that's true. Second season of Overwatch League, I fell off. It's true.
Yeah. I've just been introducing people, and I think you are the Aquaman of Overwatch because of your fishes.
I mean,
aquarium.
if I could be was 1% as jacked as Jason Momoa, bro, I'd be fucking shredded.
You're trying though, right? You're taking a gainer and stuff.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I go to the gym and stuff.
Dude, I literally injected him with anabolic steroids.
Yeah, we do that.
left.
We did that every day in California. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
To do a
Right in
YouTube
my
series
ass.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, him injects
Fun
me
to
with
follow your
anabolic
progress.
steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really sick. That'd be so sick. My engorged heart and my fucking tiny testicles. Yeah, it'll be a good show.
And also,
Good
we're
album
joined by the person with the least USB slots that I know. It's Avast.
Do you like the
Look
setup?
at him.
Do you like how it looks? It's good.
So what's going on here? Why does it sound like you're calling in from like a phone from the 2000s?
Honestly, I'm kind of tempted to just turn the. Can I just like move the
Yes.
webcam and show
Yes.
you the setup?
Yes, please.
Let's
like
do it.
this is like take a look at this bad boy is here. Okay.
Vogson says Avast with the Russian embassy mic. That gives you an idea of us what it sounds
Dude,
like
the
for us.
ally is doing
That's
so
the
much
setup.
legwork, bro.
That's the setup currently. So you can notice there in the back, I don't have enough ports, so I have a USB hub, and the hub is powering two different things. So like there's probably potentially like 1 nanovolt free of the entire setup, and so everything is drawing too much power. So it's actually kind of a miracle that this whole thing doesn't fucking and then I just noticed there, like look at it, like just look at this shit. Look at this. Like just look what I'm on. Look
That's
at
a
I'm
good
on, man.
disc. That looks
Look
great.
at that. Yeah, like this. I had to pull this out of the fucking attic here. Like it's completely rusted beyond all belief. So yeah.
Oh
so,
damn. Dude, you're
yeah.
looking like back when you got your
That's
first PC setup, you know? 20,
Yeah,
like,
it's
what,
good.
2010 or something? It looks great.
So that's it. That's the setup. So good luck, everybody else. If you're listening to this, you're God's strongest soldier.
I think this is a really good career move from you because I think we've seen an influx of Overwatch streamers who embrace the scuff. So maybe this is just better for your content.
Yeah, but typically the scuff is like listenable. This poor
And it's-
Solomon has
yeah,
to
and
adjust
it's funny.
he has to adjust the frame of the camera. He's having to move it. Yeah, mine's not listenable necessarily, so we're gonna see. So this is really good for like an audio product, I think.
Yeah, if you're listening on Spotify, we're not sorry. We love that Avast is here. It's going to be a great time. Today we're previewing Champions Clash. But before we get into today's episode, we've started doing this segment, like the Valorant show does each week, where we ask our YouTube members, thank you so much for supporting the show. We do appreciate it. Thank you for the support. It allows us to keep the show going. And each week we let them ask us a question. So today's members' question is by Tom Flynn. And they ask, would you take peak ounce or peak lip? Tough question.
God.
Peak
I
ounce will
think
be
it's easy.
2020 for shock. Yeah.
Yeah. My heart says one, my mind says the other, sadly.
I don't know. It's not even really that big of a debate. Ons was like good in one meta. It's not that it was
Yeah.
really, really good, but like
That was peak.
but
He
Lip
was so
but Lip was peak across like multiple metas still.
Yeah.
even. Like it's pretty obviously Lip. Like don't get me wrong, like I think Ons is not a bad pick, but like he's pretty much only good at like one meta on a certain set of heroes.
Okay,
you
well,
know?
we're talking about that peak, though. So, like, we can talk about someone's peak during GOATs. and compare it to someone's peek and dive?
I think I would still take Lip because
he's hit multiple peaks, bro. He is like
but it's about the
There are
highest peak. It's not
multiple
about the
peaks.
ridge. It's about Mount Everest. Who has the Mount Everest of peaks?
Are we talking
between-
like, okay, Arns, Shock, Widowmaker,
On 2020,
Gibraltar,
yeah.
first point, where he just like kills 6 every fight
Yeah,
as Widow.
because that seems
versus
pretty
Lip.
unbeatable.
Yeah, it's like it's unwinnable by the other team. Yeah, playing against Arns. Oh, dude, my heart says Arns, but my mind says Lip.
My heart says Ans too. It actually does.
He's so good. He's so sick. He's got one of the best aims of all time, I think, in Overwatch.
So are you saying that you'd rather? So essentially, the question here, we're morphing it a bit to where it's peak them, and you'd be playing in that meta with that person.
Yeah.
You would play either of these players at their absolute peak.
Oh god. But then like if you look at Lip on like Tracer or something as peak in a I don't know. In a fight. Aren't and I'm not in a fight.
In a fight.
Is
I don't
that
know,
a Klongo profile picture? Nice.
I don't know.
What is that?
That's
I don't know what
Klongo, bro.
is. What is Klongo?
Klongo.
What is
What is
that?
Klongo?
Klongo. Oh, you guys don't know Klongo? This is
No, I don't know. What do you, it's on Hebe, it's on Tubi, it's on Booba. What are you talking about? Like you're just doing that tweet, but like Klongo sounds like it's not even real.
Dude,
it sounds like
Banjo Kazooie Klongo. You guys
I
aren't
didn't play
aware.
Banjo.
How do you spell
no,
it?
that's not true. I played it. but I don't remember.
Klongo, Klong, and then Go at the end.
What?
Klongo.
What is this?
Banjo Kazooie.
Wow.
You never seen Banjo Kazooie?
This looks like a game that Avast would play on stream.
Well, yes, you're right. Actually, you are
Yeah.
right. Yeah, you're definitely right on that one.
Everything about
mentioned?
Klongo. What is this?
It-
It's you can learn everything about Klongo.
Learn
You
everything.
could probably learn everything you want
Let's
to.
co-stream this.
Dude, it's the Klongo Clash. Isn't that the next tournament?
Klongo Clash.
Yeah, bro. That's mid-season.
All right. Yeah.
This is
Shout out
good.
to them. Beautiful little PFP there. Okay, so
I would say so. I think the honest answer is Lip. I think that makes the most sense. Although I do just want to pick Arns because in the meta, in the like the Widow hard hit scan, like Gibraltar, like any kind of Widow map, Arns you just couldn't win. You could not win against Arns because he just clicks both your backlines' heads and you lose. You just lose. And I think the thing is though, Lip's versatility across like a meta as a whole. While he was also peak, it just makes more sense. It just makes more sense to me.
yeah, I think we can say that Lip probably is the best player, or like pretty unarguably is the best player here.
Of all time.
But peak Ans was probably the most dominant player I've ever seen.
He
Yeah,
was
we're
really, really good.
Yeah.
We just get first picks all the time. We just headshot all the time, and you're like, what do we do?
Yeah.
Like this.
And people
Imagine,
are like, people are
I think if
pissed
you
for it.
take the peak
Widow.
though, like you have to still you still have to plant them into the next team, you know? And so like to me, I feel like I could put Lip in more teams while I could not necessarily put Ons. Like I could put Ons on more rosters, but like does Ons do as much outside of like that shock system in that moment when he was like at his peak?
Probably
You know?
Is Ans a
not.
system player?
I mean, well, it's more so not that he's a system player. Is that like, does he need like an incredible? It's like one of those like really big artillery guns from like World War One called like Big Bertha, and you had to like build like an incredible amount of like railway line to like move it to the front. Like you need an incredible amount of support system to enable it to occur. And so I don't know. Like, I feel like Lip, you don't. He's far more ubiquitous. You can put him into a bunch of different rosters, and he's probably going to pound still. While Ons will probably still do really well, but I don't know if he'd do as well.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of Big Bertha, can you imagine them? Dude, imagine if you sped up footage of them making the railway track in front of that giant artillery gun. It would look like a Lego game. Just like, and then just like build it. Have you ever seen that? Johnny?
I know what
You
you're
that is?
talking about.
No?
Johnny has no fucking clue.
No,
He has no clue.
Johnny's like, wow, history. It's in World War II.
I know what the howitzer is. I know like the cannon or whatever. In
Yeah,
World War II.
no. So like in World War II, they made a train gun, and it was a train, and it had a giant fucking gun on it, and it took like an hour to fucking reload, and it was on a train, and they had to like build the tracks in front of it basically to move the fucking thing. Like it was stupid, bro. It was so fucking big. It's crazy. It was, and my comment was.
So is
they
Ans or
look
Lip
like-
this cannon?
That
I would
be
say
Arns.
probably Arns because he's the sniper.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
He's really
Peak
warfare
Arns.
pilled right now because he's entered
I did.
like most heterosexual men once they hit their 30s. They're like, you only have a couple paths, and he's going down
Yeah,
the warfare path.
it's-
He's going to like the war history path, unfortunately. So
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of war documentaries. I saw Warfare in cinema. I text Connor about it. He hasn't seen it yet, but I saw Warfare in cinema yesterday with my wife, and I kind of dragged her to it, but it was an interesting film.
We need to go
Which
watch
is
this
just-
war movie.
each sentence there was increasingly more heterosexual man in his 30s,
heterosexual white man in 30s,
There's
yeah.
only a
I'd rather
couple.
there.
There's only a couple paths you can go, and he's gone the war history path 100%. You're hearing it.
That's my skill tree. I've now specced into the war history path, sadly. Yeah. I skipped the film buff path. Me and Connor split. We diverged at that point. He's more into the 1920s black and white Bulgarian
Well, I don't think
silent films.
That's just not true. That's just not true.
That's the two
It's
different paths.
100% not. No, I'm really enthusiastic about like moving and being
Yeah, you like that.
that's my choice.
Your hobbies.
Johnny, what would you go
getting
down?
employed.
Then? I think
I went
you're
down-
grilling
I-
dad. You're grilling dad.
I went down the gardening path.
Yeah, grilling
Oh.
gardening.
The
Yeah.
past month and a half, I've been really into gardening. Our entire
Okay,
house is just
cool.
flourishing in plants and stuff like
That's
that.
awesome.
That would make sense.
Yeah, I got my routine, I got my schedule, I researched all the right fertilizers, the right amount of sun hours. I got everything. Wow, this is so boring. I can
This
like
is sick.
feel.
No, this
I can
is
like
good.
sense. I feel people
I like
tuning out
this.
to the podcast at this very moment.
Yeah, listen, it's what they want. Look, Avril's dead. Okay, we're approaching the end of our life. Kevin died first. He died first. We're old guys now, and he's the first to kick the bucket, and we're doing this in his memory.
Oh boy,
Talking about
Yeah.
bullshit. That's not Overwatch. In his
It's,
memory.
It's just satisfying to watch something grow and
I agree.
to blossom. So yeah, into my gardening arc. All right. Before we get into the Champions Clash, there was a trailer that dropped today. I haven't watched the trailer,
Oh, you've not watched it?
so
Oh, shit.
this
I
will
haven't seen
be
it either, to be fair.
this will be the first time we're going to watch this trailer. It's a stadium gameplay trailer for Overwatch 2, and
Johnny, people were saying you deserve an award, an Academy Award. I'm just saying.
I have not watched the video. I have not looked for any.
Are they saying that I
reactions.
need an award? Because I said I didn't see it either. Chat.
I
what do
figured
you-
we could just
no.
react. I figured we could just react to this. So we can go ahead and play this out and just chat about it. But yeah, Jack, we. Oh, that is loud. Actually, I don't know what the levels are like on this thing,
I'd
but
just turn.
yeah, Jack, got the opportunity to play some stadium.
Yeah, we did. In a very realistic setting and environment.
What did they put you in VR? Like what? You
Yeah,
were
they
in
put me in
reality,
VR.
and you felt like if you got hit, you got shot. It felt
I
like
was
you'd been
literally
shot.
Anna, and when Johnny shot me, I took a literal bullet. He actually shot me.
I
Mini
guess
Bob,
I'm trying
by
to
the
figure out when I look at the trailer here.
Yeah, I mean, wait.
To me,
now
it
we're
feels like
watching
they're
some
just
stadium.
it feels like they're just playing Overwatch. So
Yeah.
I guess where's like the stadium portion coming in?
Well,
okay, here it is. There
that's
it is.
in
Okay,
the middle,
there we
yeah.
go.
Yeah,
I was about to
like-
say, like, it felt like they were just playing Overwatch for a large portion of this.
Yeah.
Like,
And now
also
we're getting into
optional
it.
third
The
person as
multi-ball.
well.
Yeah, there goes the third person.
And then
And a big
the
orbital
orbital ray,
ray.
which does fucking damage. Like, right.
does it like shoot people now, or is it like a shoot?
There's
Wait,
Jack.
that's Jack. Wait, we're watching this. Are we watching this to Glaze?
Yes.
Wait, there's Johnny too.
Yeah,
Wait, this is shameless self promo. Shameless self promo in the trailer.
I don't know what the end result is gonna be like, so I'm stoked to see how it turned out. Jack is yapping about Anna.
And a boost.
I'm just gonna be a DPS machine. I think what we need
Dude, it's crazy to see Bro you whacking this.
definitely not.
Seeing this guy used to be in the Mayhem offices.
Yeah.
Did I just say make sure they're healing orbs though?
Yeah.
And that's okay.
So, who wrote the script, huh? Was it you guys? Were you guys part of
yeah,
it?
that was us.
We just played Stadium for a day. Big.
Oh yeah,
Slam!
that was the candid right there, and this right here, that's all candid footage.
I mean, this is some amazing gameplay right here. Yeah.
What did you know? I feel like if you're in this sort of setup, I'd be really tempted to like look in the other person's eyes, like a lot.
Wait, really?
You're like,
oh,
yeah,
the
'cause you're like,
deflect grab!
whoa!
Dude, it's so fucking epic.
Rack up cash. The Ryan pin.
I will say the mini bob and the May snowball like rolling is like
crazy.
Funny as fuck. That is really funny.
There's some like really fun perks here. Yeah, look. Maybe it is self-glazing, but it was kind of weird when they reached out and they were like, hey, we want you to be in this trailer. I'm like, you want me to be in the official Overwatch trailer? Like that was just
the rosters. Maybe they just know. They know that you guys, you hold it down.
We're just passionate, Johnny. We're passionate. We live in California. We just live for look at that.
Yeah, maybe they didn't have any travel budget. They had no travel budget.
It's the new We Lost.
Wait, that's actually great. Wait, go back. Can I see the screen? Can I see the screenshot again? Oh yeah, that's what it's all
so
about.
Good.
Yeah.
It was a really cool experience.
Yeah, it was super fun, man.
Yeah,
the setup was sick. There was you can kind of see in the bottom right, but like the camera was like, oh, Johnny. It was like a camera like spinning around us and stuff, and yeah, it was a really good time. We just played a ton of Stadium basically.
Incredibly well made.
What hero seemed? What hero? Your first impressions. Which hero seemed broken as fuck in Stadium?
Well, we played a different build to what is live now. But in that build, Cassidy was fucking insane. Like his like fan the hammer build, right? It was the most busted thing of all time, I think. And you also couldn't first person in this one either. Now it's like a toggleable thing. You could do that,
which is nice. I think I think a first person toggle is like really, really cool.
I don't know how you felt, Johnny, but like playing hit scan third person, it felt weird. And like Overwatch, obviously it's been like 9 years of Overwatch being first person. So I was kind of talking about it on my stream earlier, and like when I was playing, I'm just like toggling back to first person. It just feels more natural and it feels easier to aim.
I think it really depends on what tier you're playing, right? Like
100%.
As Reinhardt,
100%.
like I really don't want it. And
tank
I will even say
okay, but DPS and hit scan feels a bit weird.
Yeah, but like Genji, like I don't really care either. Like I can play in third person. I kind of like the third person because you get more vision. But even a hero like Juno, like I kind of low key enjoyed playing Juno in third person because like I see more of the battlefield, and I'm just cycling abilities. It's not like I'm doing some hard aiming, right? So
it feels better on like a non-hard aim hero. So like Ana Soldier, Cassidy, Ashe, like it feels good. On Reaper, I think it's okay, like third person wise, because you do get more of a. Obviously, in third person, you get way more vision, like a humongous amount. But I don't think I was always curious whether it would be like a super disadvantage to play in first person. But because Overwatch is really quick and Stadium is even quicker than normal Overwatch, the like hiding around a corner, third person peeking, it just doesn't matter in my experience anyway.
They should add wards to Stadium.
Wards?
They should have wards.
Wards for a vision.
That way you can be first person, and if you like, if they detect you, like you don't get the third person like debuff, and if you're in third person, you don't get wards, but in return, dude, I don't even. What could they give you in return?
Did you just say you want wards in Stadium?
You gave it zero thought. Whoa, that's not zero thought. You're talking about how you don't have vision in first person compared to third person. So you get wards in first person to alleviate that. Third person, you'll get.
It's like Cypher cam. Else. You just put up a cam and you just toggle and you get
there's a bunch of like little cams that pop up. That would be good. Could be something that's just like a little sensor. It's like, hey, there's someone here.
And you just shoot a little dart.
That would be so sick, bro.
That'd be so
I'm telling
sick.
you, that could be good. It's possible. With Stadium, anything's possible. Dude,
It's me. Oh, boy. I wore a Dallas Fuel hoodie. I was like, can I wear some Overwatch League merch? And they were like, yeah, sure. That'd be kind of fun.
You can tell steroids are working in that
main character.
Yeah. The round lost moment.
The round lost moment.
Yeah. You're the main character.
I had the best reaction, bro. I'm waiting for the BAFTA.
The BAFTA. You should wait for BOFTA instead.
A BOFTA? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you should wait for
I've
BOFTA,
heard that's the better one.
Yeah, that's a little bit better.
Can we get a SAG award to Joss? A SAG award?
Yeah, let's give a SAG. I think it's a cool game mode. It's not for me, personally. Not for me, it's cool. But there's definitely people that like it. I think it fits Overwatch. I think it's a very interesting like thing for Overwatch because I feel like a lot of people want to RP in Overwatch, and like Stadium's a good RP game. Plus, like in general, like as the world gets older across the board because everyone's having less kids, like old people don't play first person shooters. They play MOBAs. So I think Stadium is like a better choice to keep Overwatch relevant as you go forward. Because everyone's just getting older, man. And like the old people play MOBAs. They don't play FPSs. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Are you saying we need to get more kids out there so we get more player bases across the board?
Well, I think that's kind of what Elon Musk is talking about mostly. He needs more people to play FPS.
Shorten queue times.
That's why he's having like 15 kids. Yeah, so he can keep the queues pretty low.
Okay.
I believe that's like kind of his thing. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, it's something like that.
Wrong. But yeah, I think that's like kind of the whole point. But
Did someone make a GIF?
Dude, yes! Great. Wait, Solomon, send that to me. Send that to me. Send that to me immediately. That one, I need that. Oh, is it? Okay.
Oh, that's amazing.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you. Jarvis, add the Jaws losing GIF to the channel.
I actually really like Stadium. I think I'm going to play a lot of Stadium. Because I just find it a very chill game mode, customizable, replayable, and also, yeah, I just really like this mode. I actually had a lot of fun playing this mode, so I can see myself playing this mode a lot. It's just a nice, different experience from Overwatch, really. So I'm glad there's something new in there. We'll kind of see like how popular the game is, because I've heard several people be like, "Oh, this game will be like really popular," and I've heard others who are like, "Oh, this will die within like a season."
I think it'll be popular. I think anything that gives people the opportunity to kind of like have more control over their experience is probably going to, especially for a game like Overwatch, will be popular. I think most people are saying like, oh, won't do well, in my opinion, are probably typically like, we're biased because we're in like a more hardcore bubble to a degree.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, totally.
So I think that it's kind of myopic to think it won't do well personally. Because even as myself, like as a person who's not like a huge MOBA fan, I think the way that they've implemented it and it's like a first person game still is fun. You know, it's a fun way to be able to kind of change your experience in the game that you play and have like comparatively like other MOBAs, like where you're playing a first person shooter and you have like some ability to like control your impact as well to a degree, sort of like similar to like Deadlock, where it's like that MOBA FPS hybrid.
Sorry, I'm
I
back.
think it's good. It's okay. It's okay. We're worried about you.
We're just yapping about Stadium a little.
Okay, great.
I'm excited to see if like people give this a go and find that they don't really they don't love competitive Overwatch, but they like really enjoy the Stadium customization and
it's
like
interesting that there's no quick play version of this. There's only a ranked system, but I think that's not a bad thing. Obviously, I think a lot of people that don't enjoy a competitive environment are going to be more drawn to this, I think, than 5v5 and like normal Overwatch, you know? It's been interesting. I don't know if anybody has kind of seen takes on this, but there's been, I've had a couple of people talking when I was streaming today, like, oh, I don't think people are going to be playing normal Overwatch after this, or like, I much prefer 6v6 and I much prefer Stadium. And I think the most important thing to take away from like this mode as a whole, and like something that the Overwatch community, in fact, the gaming community as a whole just doesn't do this, is like, it's okay to like one thing but dislike another and just play the other thing, you know? You don't have to like be like, that's the worst thing in the world because I don't play it and I prefer this, you know what I mean? And I think this is going to appeal to an audience, and it maybe is going to bring people in that like this kind of thing. And it's also going to maybe transfer some people from 6v6 and 5v5 like normal Overwatch. But one of the modes isn't going to die and isn't terrible just because the other mode is like preferred, you know? I think it's just a fun extra mode that has been in the works for a long time. And it's honestly, they cooked a little bit with all the perks.
Here's how people need to think about it. It's a theme park, okay?
Yeah,
when you go to a theme park.
Yeah.
It has a theme because it's a theme park.
That's
but
Overwatch.
You like some rides more than others. So when you go to a theme park, and especially if you've already been there and you have an idea of what rides you like, you will go to those rides. You're not going to go back to the ones you didn't like. And
my ass is not that condescending, but
the Overwatch theme park just opened a new ride. Come check it out, and if you like it, maybe go back to it. If you don't like it, you know, go to the rides that already exist. It's an expanding world with more ways to enjoy the theme park, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
but it doesn't. You don't have to enjoy the entire theme park.
it's important that it captured still like the soul and essence of Overwatch and is not strayed to like this isn't like Deadlock, you know what I mean, where it's like lanes farming minions and stuff like that. It's just an extremely like rapid way to play.
Thank God for that, by the way. Thank God there are no creeps in stadium.
Fuck me, that would be so shit. It would be so bad. Like having to like, oh, time to go to my top lane, guys, as I farm creeps for 15 minutes and then roam to
I
farming.
think why I don't necessarily think it'd be inherently that bad.
I think if there's anything I've learned from Overwatch PvE and PvE or Overwatch Archives and stuff, it's like shooting bots is significantly less fun than shooting players.
Of course.
Yeah, but that's why also you still shoot player. You just also have bots. You just do a little bit of both. You know?
Yeah, but then you get to the point where like, oh, the enemy creeps are killing or they were bots. Push bots.
Oh, push bot, no.
They're killing our push bot. Then there's going to be a bot as well with the lanes.
Or 2 CP gate. Or, I don't know.
Our 2 CP gate?
Yeah.
Listen, you're just... I think
it's the core and the essence of Overwatch is there, and it is just modified a ton through the perks and shit like that. I think it's great. I think it's a fun mode. Am I going to play it as my main way of playing Overwatch? Probably not, but I will play it every now and then and enjoy it as much as I enjoy the regular game. That's been kind of my experience. Now, and I'm happy that they've introduced the first person as well, because that will make me want to play it more. Because if it was only third person, I know I wouldn't enjoy it as much. But again, that could be just like the old head in me talking and like, hey, I've been playing this for 9 years. I want to only play first person.
I've been playing this for 9 years.
So.
It's always been first person.
Exactly. Yeah. I do feel like that, but it's a fun game mode. Yeah.
What if it got more popular than the base game mode, though?
See, that's the thing, right? Like, where would the game go if that was the case? Say, like...
That'd be crazy. Say
right now, it's like most people are still playing 5v5, quick play, and ranked, despite what people say about 6v6. And what if, like, it takes half the player base from both and becomes 2/3 of the player base? Would we see esports then like follow that same trend? Would we see like, you know,
I think that's
really interesting.
So funny.
Yeah,
I would love that.
It would be fucking crazy. The thing is, I don't know about you, Johnny, but when I've been playing and when watching or like doing whatever, I can't imagine commentating Stadium in like with games going that quick, especially like if it was like close games, it would be really entertaining, but the stomps would be even more stompy. Like matches would be over in like 10 minutes because it's like first to 4, right? But then there's also the mercy rule. Still, they've changed it since the other one, but there's a mercy rule if you've won 3 and you have more money than them, 15k or something, then the game ends. Jesus Christ, like the fucking stomps would be over like that. And it'd be like, okay, game's done. It'd be crazy.
Yeah, it's weird because you couldn't, it'd be like a series within a series. Because you have to play Stadium like 3 times.
It would be so weird.
But also, I think esports has shown that like round-based games are just like really good for like the audience as well.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
any sort of downtime is good.
Yeah, a moment to rest and then like reset things, and like then the audience gets to reset. Where it's not like, I don't know, hybrid both team. Nah, never mind. Doesn't work.
I think close games would be really entertaining because of how quick the game is. But yeah, it's just the stomps that I'd be like worried about. I'm curious of how like it would go, because there would definitely be like, this is how you build this character because this is the most busted build, and like I think adding more variables like that is always fun in like a competitive environment too. So yeah. I'm curious. I don't know where it's going to go, but.
All right. I think that does it for the Stadium talk. That was fun, Jaws. That was fun recording that video. Yeah. We're on the official Overwatch YouTube channel now.
I know, it's wild, isn't it? It feels strange.
It does feel strange, yeah. All right. Let's get into the Champions Clash. We got a big major coming our way. I can't believe it's another major. It feels crazy, actually, that we're doing another major in Overwatch Esports. Just like I don't know, I was just reflecting on how long we've been here and how many major tournaments we've been
part
of, and I was just like,
I guess we just had one, but it was quite a while ago. It feels like
it was like 5 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't just have. I mean, is that crazy? I mean, like, I think what's crazy about us having a tournament, I guess.
No, it's not crazy. It's not crazy, you know, that we have another tournament. But I was just reflecting on, you know, how many times we've been previewing like a major tournament going into it, you know, whether it's, you know, for like 5 years now, 6 years now. or even longer. So here we are again. It's going to be another epic tournament. Yeah, I'm just excited.
Dude, you really got the hype going with that one. Here we are again, same shit, different day, same shit,
it's
different
like
day.
the 2 days before you're going to a really hyped up concert, where you're like getting into it and like you're listening to the band that you're about to go see play or whatever, and you're just like the excitement is like slowly building, and I just feel this like, damn, in a couple of days it's about to pop off. Like the best teams are going to
in a couple of days, we're going to see like once again, and like Chinese esports finally clash with the EU and NA teams.
I'm so excited. So the excitement is building for whatever the meme is.
This guy is so fucked. He's just like, the excitement's building.
It sounds like,
this is crazy.
No, there's actually a Valorant meme. I forget what the Valorant meme is, but they always do a Valorant meme.
Ever since AVRL died, this show's been off the rails, man. Ever since we just like infused his soul to this picture that's stuck in the corner.
Look at him.
I think we did this one time before on the show where someone was not here.
I'm pretty sure it was also AVRL.
It might have been him, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was. I'm almost certain it was AVRL. I think it was.
Oh my god.
It's always this fucking guy.
All right. So yeah, here are the rosters. Solomon, do you want to run through the blog real quick? Because they provide all their like amazing formats and everything there is to know about the tournament, and they'll get into the actual teams, the roster, stuff like that as well. We'll just zoom through the blog. I think everyone who listens to this podcast are familiar with the actual format and what the year looks like and all that. So we can just skim through that. There's a big old bracket. Just below this. Yep, stage 1 of OWCS 25.
Dude, I thought that said disappeared. I'm like, yeah, like it has
not disappeared.
Yeah, I was like,
so
yeah,
true.
What the fuck is happening?
We had promotion and relegation yesterday with me and Jake, so we determined the teams for OWCS stage 2. There you go. Thank you, Solomon. Thank you, Solomon.
Dude, he loves that button. I love it.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Good.
It's working. It's working. Can we also get someone like pointing, like on top of the red circle? Could we perhaps get like a guy pointing it as well? So we could have more, more pointing.
Oh, the Sojak pointing.
Soy bog.
Oh boy. Okay, Solomon. Let's first skim through the blog though, because we have the bracket as well, which we'll take a little bit of a closer look at later, of course. And here you can see all the schedules, the timings, the days, and so. Okay, I lagged for a second there because of the time zone. We will be working on. Is Saturday the last day? Sunday is not the last day, right?
Bro, I'm not working it, so that's fucking you guys.
Yeah, well, I was asking the wrong guy. In this moment,
yeah.
Sunday, yeah.
Oh, it starts on Friday. Okay, never mind.
But because it's like tipping over because it's like midnight. And
yeah. So it'll be Saturday night for us into Sunday morning.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
There you go.
Dude, when it tips over the times, it's something like that.
Yeah,
the time's there in PT, bro. We got it. Liquipedia exists as well. All good.
And yeah, we'll take a closer look at that bracket as well. But if you go further down this blog, there was, of course, the map pool that's changed a little bit here. I'll just quickly get your opinion on this map pool here as well. So there's quite a few new additions. We got new Queen Street and Push. Circuit Real, Junkertown is in there. There's a new control map as well. Is Ilios or Oasis the new one?
Oasis, Ilios, and Lijiang, isn't it? Ilios.
I thought Ilios was in. Is Oasis? Am I crazy?
Am I crazy?
Lijiang was in.
Yeah, Lijiang was in.
The previous control maps were Lijiang, Nepal, Samoa.
Yeah.
So
Nepal and Samoa.
Okay, we're just mixing it up. Yeah. Dude, no, I'm telling you, I asked this when I joined the call. I was like, has anything fucking happened in Overwatch? Like, obviously stuff has, but it's like it's been a fucking long time since we've had to sit here and like discuss this. So
good. I think this map was pretty good, by the way. Although Escort is a little freaky. I don't know how you guys feel about Escort.
I missed
Circuit Royale. Junkertown is like holy snipers. I don't think I mind that too much, to be honest.
I'm taking pecans.
Dude, pecans. That's what I'm saying.
I'm taking pecans in this moment.
Pecans. You take this map pool, pecans. There you go. I mean, look. This
we
is
did
a
see
bit
quite a
weird.
bit of dive though in the promotion relegation tournament, but that might just be NA. But
Yeah.
that's the
Junkertown.
thing. Okay, maybe dive doesn't carry over. I think it will. It does feel like the strongest comp right now. But Circuit Roller and Junkertown break that up a ton, which is really cool. So it's a bit of a weird.
oh yeah, during
map
the
pool.
Soup Cup, they just picked Circuit Real as the second map. So we might
Yeah.
be back at a tournament where everyone just picks Circuit Real as the second map. So because you're
And
like,
it's
oh,
been
we
lovely-
can't match
I
the
don't
dive,
know.
we'll just pick Circuit Real. Great.
Yeah. So I think that's really cool. I like when a game type is like in a map pool that's like hard focused on like one type of comp or like a different comp than what you'd expect on every other map. Sorry, not just one type. So like Circuit and Junkertown, it's like, okay, Sigma push. Like you want to play like a poke style, you can. I like it. I really enjoy
The problem
it.
is there's not really that many. I agree, but I think also when you look at this map pool, there's not enough maps that balance that out. You know, I would like if there was more maps that were like you could technically get away from the dive.
Oh,
on
so
them.
like a Numbani on for
Yeah,
hybrid or
like
something
they're
as
simply
well.
they're
Yeah.
simply just like if Escort is the only map type that really has it. I mean, you could maybe argue like King's Row a bit.
You play Rush,
and then like parts of Control, like Legion Control Center and shit. Like there's moments where you can like get off of it, but that's the only issue is that like there's really only one map type here that's gonna like let teams, potentially make hard meta swaps.
I guess it's also noteworthy that there's only 2 hybrid maps and 3 push maps, whereas before it was 3 hybrid maps and 2 push maps.
I think that's okay. I think
yeah.
they've got the best hybrid maps. Well, Jake would disagree, but he's not here, so fuck him. They got the
King's Row is in there.
King's
There we
Row's
go.
there, and I like Blizzard World. Jake hates it, but yeah.
Yeah, I like
think,
Blizzard World too. I think it has a flair. It's an
I think it's
interesting map.
I think it's a really interesting map. Yeah, I really like it. And then Suravasa too. I think Flashpoint, like only Suravasa, please. That map is easily the best Flashpoint map.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think Suravasa is by far the best. Blizzard, I also do like Blizzard World too. I think the dynamic from first to second is really fun. I don't find third particularly interesting.
Okay, third is kind of ass.
but first to
sometimes,
second's dynamic is fun. So I could agree with that.
Yeah. And with that as well, new Queen Street is back in the pool. I think that's another one of those maps which really changes up the game as well.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know if people are picking that though. Like whenever New Queen Street has been in the map pool, it's always Runesapia or Esperanto, or like one of the two. It's bro, no one's picking that motherfucker. Nice.
I love
Yes.
There you go.
Let's
I love
fucking
New
go.
Queen Street though. I don't know if it's the aesthetics, but also I love the comps there as well. Whenever we do see New Queen Street play, I genuinely just.
There's a
usually
lot
love
of
those
fighting
maps.
on New Queen Street as well because of how the center of the map works, and like there's entrances and exits through the center. There's a lot of fighting on New Queen Street.
Yeah, I love it.
The problem is the second is just I think going from like the first checkpoint to like going to essentially to like the second checkpoint, making the way to last is like
The back
that
half
high
of the map
ground.
sucks.
Yeah, that like high ground differential moment when you
It's
get there.
insane.
It's like Esperanza mid, but also like there's no other like opposing high grounds for you to like utilize, and it's just like it's tough. It's a tough map, so I agree. I don't know if it's going to be a very popular map.
Probably.
Yeah. All right, let's move on here quickly. Just skim through this. There's a Ember Juno bundle if you want to contribute to the.
By the way, it is the main menu screen right now. Is the Ember Juno, which is
with the music too.
Yep, which is
Tight.
really sick.
Yep.
It's really sick. Oh, is that
Awesome
a
skin.
headless? I've not seen this. It's
I think it's just the concept art.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like a
it's
concept art headless Juno.
headless Juno.
They might
That's
save
kinda
that for Halloween.
It's a cool skin, and I know a lot of people remember last year Dallas. People were not happy with the Hanzo skin. I liked it. I thought it was kind of cool, but this one is one for a character a lot of people really like. Why Juno ass moment, but also it's just a kind of a sick skin. It's cool.
It arguably might be the sickest skin we've had when it comes to like crowdfunding, because the Sojourn one was all right, but I would say this one is like a very unique Juno skin. Like a lot of people just buy this because it's a really cool skin, right? So
It's cool. The color scheme's really nice.
yeah, the color scheme is awesome. I love it. And then it's a bunch of drops and cosmetics, stuff like that. Attendee rewards as well if you're in person.
Which is cool. I like the fact they do attendee rewards. I think that's really good.
Yeah. Watch and earn, which it's going to be quite interesting because they write in the text above, to mark the momentous occasion of our first live event in Overwatch Triumphant Return to China, we're enabling category-wide drops on Twitch so that everyone co-streaming Champions Clash may take part and enjoy the drops. So previously, they've had either the featured co-streamers, and then early on this year, as Avast is taking a phone call, or provinces, he's on the he's taking a call. He's Mr. Bisma. But yeah, they're doing category wide because there was also like the partnered co-streamers as well.
Yeah,
who have the drops. But now they're doing category wide, so even casual streamers will get the Overwatch Esports drops. Now at that point, you know, you could argue like, are they really Esports drops if they just are enabling the whole category? Really curious if this somehow encourages conversation on Twitch about the ongoing event. So like in casual streamers, if people will, you know, realize that the drops are because of the event and therefore maybe guide some viewership, or if it's just like any other drops going on.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know, because it also, I'm curious, dude, the Bogdanov vocal, what is crazy? Dump it.
You have to walk
Dump
away.
it again. I'm not sure. It does seem a little weird. I think it feels like they should have like you can co-stream, like open co-streaming stuff, and then those people get the drops. Because I'm not sure how much traffic is going to drive. Maybe they're doing this as kind of a test run to see how it does kind of lead to interaction with Overwatch and stuff like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is interesting because, I'd say there are so many creators who usually just like don't really pay attention to the esports events. Like they just queue up the game, they play on a pretty casual basis, and so like, can you get their attention and their audience's attention for this event?
Yeah,
I think it's going to be interesting. Yeah,
it feels like an experiment to me, so I guess we'll see.
Because obviously, like the other question is like,
drops, aren't they?
Are partner drops or like featured co-streamer drops, are they more beneficial because they directly lead people to the actual esports streams?
Yeah,
so,
I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know the answer. But it's interesting to see this. Nonetheless,
a drop is a drop at the end of the day. Like, you know,
a drop is a drop.
Like I've always been on the train of thought, like, I don't personally care about drops and stuff. I'm really happy that they give little bits away, but like me as a viewer, that's not like an incentive to watch. But I'm glad that we do them, because I think with esports and stuff in general, it's just kind of the way it's been trending, and giving viewers rewards, especially for watching like tournaments and stuff. I've always thought it's quite nice. And with the loot box system as well, I think it's an easy win, just giving loot boxes away. Yeah. So yeah, I like it. I like that we have the drop system. I've personally never been like, I'm going to watch this just for the drops kind of thing. But
I mean, just reflecting on it, it's actually crazy how drops have led to like a viewership increase across so many different games, right? Because not even Overwatch, but you look at like Marvel Rivals, or like even like when new games drop on like Steam, it can be like, you know, freaking Dark Souls or whatever. Just having drops on broadcasts, it increases viewership and therefore, you know, marketing.
More
like essentially marketing for the game.
Eyes on the sponsors, advertisers, or whatever.
And it's something we didn't have, you know, like 5 years ago or whatever. So it's actually like really interesting to see how it's helped shape the live streaming space on Twitch. Yeah. All right.
So can you take the bog off me? Dude, this is the problem with moving, is that like it fucking you just get calls every hour of the day. Fuck, my hair is all fucked up. There we go.
Look great.
That sound better. That sound better. Good enough. But it's so it's fine now. What are we talking about?
We're talking about drops and the impact of drops on the live streaming space on Twitch. So category-wide drops instead of featured co-streamers.
Yeah.
So category-wide drops on Twitch will be interesting. We'll see how that affects viewership and stuff like that. And then so there's new drops every single day actually, which is also, I guess, kind of crazy. Like
that's
long gone are days of
cosmetics.
There's a lot of cosmetics. And top it off with a Widowmaker. Yeah, Widowmaker skin.
Do you think? Well, I don't know. I didn't hear your full discussion. Do you think a category-wide drop is better than featured streamers?
That's
we
what
don't know.
Just saying.
Yeah, we
don't know.
We don't know. Yeah.
It feels like it should be like, oh, here's the co-streams. You can apply for co-stream rights, whatever, and then you guys get the drops. But having category wide is like, okay, so if Jimmy 2008 is playing quick play, and then they're getting drops, like, is that going to push viewership through that to OWCS? It's hard to tell. It feels like
I mean, does
to me,
viewership
but
get pushed through co-streamers to OWCS?
yeah, I mean that's it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're in that space more.
What do
than we
you
are,
think of Avast? What is your opinion?
My personal opinion is that co-streaming provides very little value to a product directly outside that you get extra eyes. So essentially, like, and also because people can aggregate the numbers. But at the end of the day, those aren't your numbers because, like, they're only there because the streamer's watching you. So, and this is not like an Overwatch specific problem. It's an esport wide problem, like, by far, of like, everyone has this issue of like, we can all say there are numbers, but there are numbers. So my personal opinion is I think co-streaming is better to have than to not have in general. It's something that's a useful product. It gives you numbers that you can aggregate. But like my realistic opinion from what I've seen so far is that it doesn't seem to necessarily drive viewer conversion across the board. But okay. I mean, realistically, what's the difference? Like, okay, you can have co-streamers and have more people maybe get interested in the product, and you also get the extra eyes, or you cannot have co-streamers and you don't get that benefit at all. And then what do you have, right? So I think that's just the simple reality of where we're at in general, is that for esports as a whole, is that, co-streaming is part of the platform. You want co-streamers because it does bring you extra attention, but I don't necessarily think it's necessarily going to drive an insane amount of viewer conversion for any product, not just like an Overwatch product.
What I mean, in other games it's a little bit different, I think, because some of the co-streamers for like Valorant or Call of Duty and stuff like that are like genuinely like massive. Like they're huge.
Yeah, like Tarek of the world, Scump. Yeah. Yeah,
and I can't say I'm the most informed individual about that because I haven't researched it a ton. Whereas like in Overwatch, because of the history in Overwatch at least, there's always been like the main broadcast, which I think most people are just like drawn towards. And if you compare with other titles, like how many share of viewers does co-streamers get versus the primary broadcast, I would say that Overwatch is in the lower ratio of that, where most people just tune into the main broadcast compared to co-streamers. Whereas in Valorant or League of Legends,
like
it's a great
50-50.
example with Cadril, right? Where tons of people, like a massive share
Apex
of
too.
people who watch tune into Cadril over the actual main broadcast, right?
Apex
and so, it's pretty interesting how that ratio would affect decisions about, like, how you support the esports scene and build around that, use that fact to your advantage. So it's gonna be interesting. I'll just tee up this kind of like straightforward question for you, Avast. Do you think category-wide drops are going to guide more viewers to the esports product, or do you think that limiting drops to the esports broadcasts are going to guide more viewers to the esports broadcast?
I don't know. That's a great question, honestly.
Because are some people just like, oh, if I'm gonna get the drops anyway, I'll just watch my casual streamer play some competitive instead.
Personally, I think you're more likely to potentially funnel viewers if you have particular co-streamers that are watching the product, because there's not really an incentive to watch the product if you can get the drops anywhere per se. But maybe
I guess I'm mainly thinking of like the partnered co-streamers, where it's like there's legitimate like 12 people are streaming with drops versus the entire category. So,
I mean, to me, that's what I'm saying, is that like when you have partnered co-streamers that have drops and they're all partnered to watch the product, there's an incentive for viewers to come get the drop, which also exposes them to the product. If you have a category-wide one, everyone's getting the drops no matter what the product they're interacting with, right? They could be playing Stadium, they could be playing Quick Play, they could be in 18 plus RP custom games.
I was just about to make that. I was just about to.
There's a million things. So they could be doing like the 800th debate on 6v6 versus 5v5. Like, there's. So I don't know. So I do think that, like, to me, I think it opens up the possibility though of potentially being more valuable, simply because if everyone gets the drops, and also, maybe more streamers are just like, you have smaller streamers co-streaming that aren't partnered, right? Well, it's like, well, I'm gonna go. That theoretically could also help uplift everyone in the category, which is good for like general like economy of like, well, I'm not de-incentivized to stream this product, like because technically, like if only a couple co-streamers had the drops, then sometimes people would be like, well, what's even the point of co-streaming? What's the point of like viewing with the product? So there are like some alternative angles. I'm sure there's probably some other data analysis that like we're not privy to that maybe there's a reasoning for it. And my initial justification would be like, I think if those co-streamers that you typically were partnered are not going to co-stream your product unless they have exclusive drops, then you might be losing a little something. But also, like, if the majority of those people that are watching a streamer like that aren't even like interested in what they're watching at all, versus like a category-wide drops where like people are generally tuning in because they're interested in the product to a degree, like across a wider range versus like a couple key streamers, maybe there's something there. I'm sure they have data. I'm sure they have to have some sort of data analytics that are justifying.
It feels like an experiment to see what would happen.
Yeah,
personally, which I think is fine. I don't see any problem with that at all.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's just the reality of co-streaming is that we're just in a wild west of a world where people want to watch streamers. Main broadcasts in general always like they're somewhere middling in popularity in terms of what people want to watch in a live stream.
We're also like in a bit of a react world, right? Where people just love watching people for reactions.
Yeah.
And so maybe that has
Josh had a really interesting take on this on Plat Chat Valorant the other day, talking about co-streaming and stuff. And they were talking about when they were in Austin. I think maybe you were there, Connor. I can't remember, but they had like a clean feed in Austin.
If it was the Austin product, then I was there. Yeah.
Yeah, and they had a clean feed with no like casters or like nothing else. It was just clean feed, and Josh was saying like it felt very dead.
It does. It feels very dead without the casting. It does. It feels extremely dead without the casting. If you don't have like actual broadcast audio, I think that's just the reality is that there's a reason for a main broadcast, and that like it gives some sort of like feel to the product versus just watching
games. You're just watching games. You're watching people shoot each other.
Yeah, it's like at that point you might as well just watch like, and you might as well be watching like the next like who's the hidden bronze product, or like spectating these bronze teams, like because like it doesn't feel like you're watching an esport product at that point. It just feels like you're watching. It could be like just it just could be games that you're like replay codes. These could really just be replay codes that you're watching. You know, it doesn't feel any different. So I do think there's a value for main broadcast. It's just a question of like always where does that value fall in? Like where does the value fall in for co-streamers? So like I look at all these people on this, and like most of them I don't really, you know, like, you know, I fuck with Mitch, I fuck with Danny, you know, like I mean like look at this guy, the guy in the circle. I don't know if I fuck with him. I don't know if I fuck with the guy in the bottom left. Like, you know.
After our fucking split fiction games, bro.
Well, it's gonna be. Is it full remote, by the way? Are we? I don't know. Are the games happening? I'm assuming you guys aren't going on site, from what I understand.
No, we will be.
We'll be in a studio.
Yeah, we'll be in a studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there will be a studio, but it just won't be a studio on site.
Yes.
No, we won't be on site. No. I'm not going to China.
Yeah.
I assume that because Mitch was like, yeah, I'm not going to be there. So I'm like, okay. So like, I don't think he turned it down
Mitch
for
calling
Marvel.
In. Can you imagine? They just wheel out the TV.
I mean, I was like, I don't think I made the joke. I was like, wow, he called out for this so
I could have seen Matt with
night.
the background. Yeah, I could have seen Matt with the virtual background. Yeah, I could have.
Him on the old broadcast with him and Mitch, and then it was me and Scott in, and then it would be like, okay, time to wheel Matt out, and then he's on the screen. That was so funny.
All right, Joel and Avast, I'm going to ask you one question before we move on here.
Okay.
Am I allowed to ask one more question about the co-streaming drops, or should we move on?
Sure.
I won't allow
it. Seems very like it's.
If
very
you have that question,
I don't know if it's a boring conversation. I think it's fun, but I don't know if it's boring to the general audience.
Okay. Well, just ask the question, bro. Like you're the fucking leader, bro.
I just want to create the best content possible here. I guess my question was, when it comes to having category-wide drops as well, do you think there is more? Do you think there's an awareness? I'm saying problem here, but I don't think it's an actual problem. But do you think spreading awareness of the Overwatch Esports event itself is more beneficial in terms of like, hey, we have Overwatch Esports drops to the entire category to spread awareness to players and viewers who usually wouldn't tune into an esports broadcast? Or like we kind of talked about, like, is there more gain about rewarding people for tuning into the actual show? So like, you know, I'm thinking like there's probably like tons of Overwatch players Now I guess it's a little bit different because we pointed out earlier, Josh, like the actual main menu screen is now just like OWCS, here's Juno, like in your face, cool. Like there's a tournament going on. That obviously helps with awareness because now you're spreading awareness to the general player population that this is very much going on, and they check it out and they're like, oh, what's this, stuff like that, right? So I guess my question is like, do you think it helps spreading awareness that this is going on, or do you guys think at this point, like 9 years in, or whatever it is, that like people know that Overwatch Esports exists and they've figured out already whether they like it or not?
It depends, because I think the menu having it like OWCS and you have the little scrolling thing that also says like Faces sometimes, and then OWCS
it says Faces, which is awesome.
I think that stuff in my mind would drive more viewership, because I think it's worth keeping in mind as well that you have a player base of Overwatch, and then you have a subsection of that player base that enjoys Overwatch content, and then you have a subsection that's even smaller that is like, okay, content on YouTube or Twitch, and then it's even smaller than that, that's like esports in general, you know what I mean? And like driving viewership through that feels more beneficial, and it would probably result in more people watching and checking it out if they were like first time playing the game, or like I've played the game for a month, guys, like it's been really fun, and then they see this giant thing on the screen and maybe they don't consume a lot of content. It's like a two-pronged attack in a way, but I do feel like having the main menu stuff probably results in a lot more personally. So category-wide drops, it's probably going to drive a little bit of viewership, but I think helping also Overwatch as a whole is also pretty beneficial, because you're more likely, I think, coming from a player's perspective and a player's side of things that doesn't consume a lot of content, you're more likely to be, okay, oh great, I've got some drops in Overwatch, I'll fucking use them in the game, and then you're going to play longer, which is then going to ingrain you more in the community. Then you're going to consume more content, which then you're going to lead to like, I want to get better at the game, competitive content, and then like going into the esports kind of content as well. So it's
and
like
then depression, and then unemployment, and then moving
to
that
job in esports.
So
it's actually insane how many people, by the way, just related to that, of people I've seen that like have interacted with like Overwatch esports content or like my content, and now we're like in esports like working stuff. Like I found like there's a guy that's been a long time person I've seen that's like he's like now like the rivals manager for like Sentinel's Rivals, and I'm like, and they've been like a community member for like a long time to watch you, and I'm just like, bro, like. First of all, I'm like, congrats, but also I'm like, get out. But like, I think. I think category-wide drops is better for awareness, because like if a big streamer chooses a co-stream, great. If they don't, like all the people that are going to be co-streaming Overwatch that maybe aren't fans or not even aware of the product are much more likely to potentially get awareness from a category-wide drop than I am. Then it's just a question more so of like, does that drive viewership more than a co-streamer, right? I think the awareness would be higher. It just doesn't drive anything, right? So I think there's a benefit.
It's impossible to fucking tell.
I'm sure there are ways. There are definitely metrics to do it. So like, I think the benefit of being able to just like say like raise awareness, because also it's a question of like, these are all just more stats questions. Like how many players play Overwatch 2 now that didn't play 3 years ago or 4 years ago? How many players play Overwatch now that didn't play a year ago? How many players now like? So it's just a question of like, if you're getting a continuously new players, which hopefully you are for a free-to-play game, many of them will literally have no context of anything Overwatch esports history related. Not everyone's fucking been here for 9 years, decrepit, ancient, seen it all, like they're burnt out, want to, I think it's like, if you're getting new blood, you want consistent awareness, And I think that's where something like a category-wide drops would help, because they can come in fresh-faced, like, oh my god, can't wait to love esports. And then, then they'll get beaten out of them over time. But then when they start out, it'll be really nice. They'll love it.
This guy, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so doomer over in Texas.
I'm not doomer. I still love esports. I'm still loving esports. It's like, it's also, you can be flattened and still love something. You can still, it's like, you could argue where the boundaries of that relationship are. But at the end of the day, it still hurt me and I love it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's been pretty eye-opening recently for me, because I feel like recently I've heard so many people who are like, Yeah, I got into Overwatch, in 2022. It's just like,
Wild,
like,
yeah.
yeah. And it was like,
Overwatch,
so
wait, you didn't play like back when GOAT was meta? You didn't play Double Shield? You didn't play when like Reaper was Beyblading, bro? Like, come on, man.
And there's been several people like that. So I'm like, surely there's like, probably thousands of Overwatch viewers or whatever who got into Overwatch because of perks, and they're just like love perks, and they're like, oh, this is the sickest game ever. And now you're just like raising awareness, like, hey, you like Overwatch perks, like there's Overwatch Esports, like come get your drops and stuff like that. So
that is the life cycle of a free-to-play game.
Yeah,
the churn of people coming in.
I guess on the other side of that, the more doomer side of that is, I'm just thinking like how many people have who played Overwatch like 2016 to like 2019, and now they're just like not here anymore. So like the old heads have been replaced by the new heads, and I'm just like, oh, we're still here. Like I feel ancient.
That's okay though. Like if you think about meta point, not about meta in the game, but like if you think about gaming, and like gaming as a whole, right? Like okay, I play this game until the next one comes out. I play Call of Duty 4 until what? World War comes out.
5.
And then
Modern Warfare 2.
And then you play World at War until Modern Warfare 2 comes out. And then you play that until Black Ops 1 comes out. Then you play that until Modern Warfare 3. And then you play that until Black Ops 2, the best COD to ever exist. And then it's the life cycle of the game. It is changing every single year. Maybe COD is actually a bad example, but like games in a sense have only now started to evolve in recent times with Fortnite, Apex, any kind of like free-to-play model to be as kept alive for as long as possible through like innovations within the game. So like Overwatch with going to 5v5 and then perks, and now like stadiums come out, so that's like a different fun mode, like staying alive for that long. So like I don't think you should feel bad in any way that people are like,
bad. I just feel old.
If you just make a comment then you're old, then yeah, you are old as fuck, Johnny. But like it is good that we're still seeing new faces come in and enjoying the game for what it is now.
Yeah,
and
then
dead.
Some of us died.
Some of us actually died.
I mean, if you think about it, you have to think of the free-to-play life cycle as an actual life cycle. People come in, people die.
We are close to this.
We get new people are born. Yeah. Those are new free-to-play players. They come in, they die. The endless cycle. The endless cycle of life there. And there are some people that are
at the same time, if you enjoy the game and you've enjoyed it for this many years, then fuck it. Who gives a shit, bro? Like, it's like World of Warcraft, bro. I'm still playing. I don't play that much anymore, to be fair, but like, I'm still playing all these years.
Dude, I got the classic itch again.
Oh God. Exactly, bro.
The last few days, I've been just itching to play classic WoW, and I'm like, don't do it to yourself. Don't open that game. You're gonna be.
Dude, open it. It's fun, man. I've been like, okay, I'm gonna do not Mechagon, like the new fucking WoW stuff, and I'm like, do Mythic Plus again. Ooh, yippee.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. People are gonna look back at like 2019, where it's like you got Apex, Fortnite, Valorant in like very quick succession.
Yeah,
as like all those live service games, all those FPS or third person shooter games in quick succession just changed the entire like multiplayer landscape on Twitch, because like all those titles were like successful on Twitch.
Well, Fortnite really kind of spurred that with like free to play, right?
That's insane.
Where it was like Fortnite saved the world.
Like, I can't even remember what it was like before that.
Sucks. And then
don't shit talk Save the World, buddy.
Okay, we know you played Save. Okay,
I like Save the World.
Okay, well you love Save the World, but like Fortnite revolutionized how the gaming industry is now, and it is about free to play. Line must go up, and also microtransactions. That's just how it is. Like people are bagging on fucking horse armor. Horse armor in Oblivion costs like $5, bro. $5.
Dude, think about how different it was back then. That's crazy.
Let's not go into. Can we move on?
Wait,
inflation is crazy.
Marathon got announced, the new Bungie shooter.
Yeah.
And that's an extraction shooter. So maybe the next wave is extraction game. So then I need Stadium 2 Overwatch extraction mode. And you're in like a ruined city, and you're trying to like get Omnic parts or something to like sell on the black market. And Blizzard, new idea for your continuing live service product. Extraction
please
shooter
give me
Overwatch.
a job, please.
There you go. Just want to put that out there.
Someone hire my mans.
I don't know what the next extraction shooter is. I'm old.
Let's do this.
Solomon wants to move on so bad.
By the way, it's like you guys need to shut the
by the way, quick comment as well. We didn't mention it during the talent announcement. We got a new addition to the talent team as well. Ash Bang will be joining us this week. So super pumped about that. Can't wait to work with Ash. And it's going to be a great time. So, yeah, looking forward to that this week. All right, let's actually, there you go. Boom. I was going to say bang, but that would have been, I guess.
I mean, that is
Pun.
your last
That was
name.
a good pun.
I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, it was-
So-
yeah,
It was a really good last name.
So there you go. Looking forward to have Ash on the team. It's going to be a great week.
They should have been a race car driver with a last name like that. Like
Why?
I've never seen a person with a last name Bang. It's like an onomatopoeia. It just sounds very flashy. It's like being called like Ray or fucking like like Fireball or something.
Fireball. Imagine being called. What are you saying?
It's just the last name that seems very actiony. It's just like it seems very
Imagine being called
like
Fireball.
like Ash
We need to move
Fireball
on.
or
We need
Ash
to move
Bang or Ash
What
like
the fuck is he
Explosion
saying?
or
Oh
something.
my god.
the Texas air hits different, is all I'm saying.
Okay.
There's something going.
I'm going to keep making comments. Solomon is going to lose their mind here.
He's gonna go
Yesterday I was
crazy.
watching the Masters golf. It's just a quick 10 seconds in. So there's this thing where like you do the Grand Slam and you win all majors in golf. It's only like 7 people have ever done it in like history or something like that. One of the players who have done it, or their last name is actually Player. I was like, what? Their surname is
what? That's a
Player.
goated name.
Yeah. So in like the 1950s or whatever, they did this and they won all 4 majors. And their last name is Player. And I was just like, wow.
It's
what a
like
last name,
the
Player.
president
That's
of
crazy.
what Nintendo USA right now is like
Doug
Doug
Bowser?
Bowser.
Yeah.
It's like what
Doug
the fuck?
Bowser.
How is that possible?
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah,
perfect.
That's
True.
crazy.
Bowser.
All right, let's get the freaking bracket up here and let's check out the teams who are playing in the Champions Clash. This has been exactly the episode I thought it'd be. By the way, this is brilliant.
Good.
All right. Team Falcons against Alcadzia, Virtus Pro against once again Nightmare against Team CC, and Crazy Raccoon against
Dude,
Space
that
Station.
VP once again game. God damn.
All these matches are best of 3, right?
BO3s? Yeah, I mean,
Did they?
Yeah.
BO3 still they get to
into,
BO5 and
BO5s,
round 2.
yeah.
and
So
then-
it's the whole like we don't have a B stream, so we're just running it through best of 3 real quick, like that. We will make our bracket later, but I prepared a fun little game show segment here, or I say I prepared. I had an idea, and then I asked Solomon if Solomon could do it, and obviously
Wow.
because Solomon
Prepared.
is the
Okay.
best producer in esports, of
That's
course
true.
they could do it. So we're borrowing the wheel. We're bringing back
the wheel? We're bringing back the wheel?
Yeah.
Dude, when was the last time we did the wheel in like
The
Overwatch
wheel.
League?
Yeah, here we go. And
Jesus Christ.
this segment would have been way better if there was a 4th person here. But
He's
in
dead,
fact,
though.
there's just the 3 of us now, because then we could have
Okay,
had 2 teams each.
I'll answer for Avril. Okay, I'll answer for Avril. So this
Okay.
is what you 6v6 heads are always fucking hated. I'll do it for Avril. I'll go for Avril. And then it's just gonna be the exact same thing. It'll be easy.
That
Oh,
sounded
God.
just like him.
Okay.
That
all right.
sounds like him, right?
Yeah.
So we did this thing last week, which I actually quite enjoyed, and I was like, oh, there's something there. Team CC, who qualified from OWCS China, I think we'd all agree that China, right now, they've not been graced with the most fortunate circumstances when it comes to improving at the game and becoming really good at the game. And so, in this situation where 2 teams qualify for Champions Clash, but I think it's worth saying that Team CC is probably going to be the worst team, the Champions Clash. They're
I
not
think
going.
that's a crackhead take. I don't
You think that's a
good-
crackhead take? Whoa!
I don't think that's a good take.
Whoa! You think Team CC is not going to be the
I'm
worst
gonna be
team?
honest. I have you guys. I haven't even seen the China
I watched,
matches, so I
watched
don't
the China
know
matches.
what
I
their
don't think that's a good take.
performance are like. I don't know what the performance is like. I literally can't tell you. Like logically, Johnny's point might make sense, but also some of these players are like very, very good still. Like coming out
Yeah.
of like their Overwatch League career.
It's-
So I
This is
don't
going
know.
to be
I don't
brilliant.
know.
This is going to be great. I love it. I love it. This is not how I thought it'd go. But yes, what we're doing is last week we steel man the argument. How are Team CEC going to have a great tournament run? And so for this segment, when we talk about the rosters, talk about the teams, we're going to present the Steelman case for each team and talk about how they're going to get the job done, how they're going to have a deep run in the Champions Clash bracket. And for some of the teams, it'll be quite obvious. And for some of the teams, it won't. Now, we could just run through each team, but instead we're going to utilize the wheel. So we're going to go down the line, and whoever you are on, we spin the wheel, and we select the wheel selects the team for you.
Okay.
And you have to make the case for that team and how they're going to successfully win the Champions Clash. So, Avast, I've selected that you were up first.
Just don't give me Alcancia. Just don't give me Alcancia. I beg you. Give me. I would rather take the Chinese teams.
Oh, I mean,
How are they gonna do it, guys? How are they gonna do it? How are they gonna do it, guys? Like this team. I mean, realistically, Mauga nerfed the fuck. So Mauga's nerfed the fuck. They don't have to worry about it. They'd have some very nice bands coming in here. They get jumping on the ball, you know. And also, didn't they? Isn't in one of the recent passes? Didn't Ball like they reduced the like essentially they pretty much made it easier to like transfer the shields for ally to your allies and stuff too. So Ball technically got enough. I mean, overall, like Crazy Raccoon, this team is, if we're being honest, the team that's second favorite to win the event behind Falcons. Like they're up there. Like there isn't really a situation to where they're not in contention to be in the grand finals from the get-go. Their team is too fucking stacked across
How do
the
they beat
board.
Falcons then? What? How are they gonna beat Falcons?
Quite simple, my dear.
Okay.
Quite simple here. So how they beat Falcons is Lip shows up. Prime Lip shows up. Prime Lip shows up. Prime Lip shows up. And also all the maps where they had to play fucking Mauga in the OWCS like Asia finals, they don't have to play that anymore. Because of the nerfs. So now they could put like Junbin on ball or some other shit, like pretty much literally anything other than Mauga. And they just have a better chance because they don't have to play Mauga Rush comps.
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
I think legitimately they almost don't have to do much other than the fact they don't have to play Mauga into Falcons now. So, and that's like a huge, significant chance to improve them potentially winning the event. And also maybe Prime Lip shows up. I don't know.
Holy
So your
shit.
case for Crazy Raccoon to win is Mauga is
They don't have to
worse.
play Mauga.
They don't have to play Mauga. Like, that's such a good... Yeah,
legitimately. I mean,
easiest
Falcons
case
kind
of all
of
time.
Falcons pound them on Mauga. Like, it's not a team.
Yeah.
They're not built for Mauga. They were never particularly amazing at Rush, so they looked okay at points when they were playing like Symmetra comps with it. So like I think the team just having Mauga be not as good is like a pretty good, because like other than that, like I mean, look at their comp. Like the other biggest change I would argue, like correct me if I'm wrong, is like besides Mauga is like probably the Ana self nano change with like the perk potentially,
Yeah,
along with some of the
they got
Torb nerfs, like some of the Torb nerfs as well. So like I look at that and I'm like, well, like with Ana being nerfed, like I don't think that's really a net
She's
positive
still
for
so
either
good,
team.
though.
Yeah, she's still so good, right?
Yeah.
She's still, but also like even if she was like mega turbo nerf, there's not really. It's still really kind of a net equalization because it's like okay, fielder and shoot, like both those players are still playing like a very high level. So I think the only thing that tips the scales here for them is that they don't have to play Mauga. They don't have to play Mauga into Falcons. So they can potentially try to pull out some other crazy shit because I guess Torb is a little bit like weaker, but like it's not like Falcons played that much Torb anyways. Like so also they had like the Echo change, which is like kind of a nerf and kind of a buff, so like which maybe could hit. So to me it just seems like Mauga's not in the meta, and I think that's how Crazy Raccoons wins, is that they just they get the force on maps where they don't have to fucking mirror into the Mauga anymore. They can do something nice and crazy. And then Prime Lip shows up and he lips all over them.
I'll say this as well. If Heesang is the best damage player between him, Lip, Proper, and Stalker, they win the tournament.
Oh,
Yeah, that's sure.
Yes.
Yeah, if Heesang has the life game and is better than Lip and Proper, then yes, that would also be good. But that would be a very
To be fair
crazy
to him,
occurrence.
he's fucking getting up there, bro. Like
He's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I mean,
I think that's a less
I think
likely win condition,
Stockholm might have been, might have been a bit of an exception. But I think in general, last year, like Proper, Stalker, and Lip, I think were just like, you remember that series where Lip just got like mad? Lip was just like angry that they were having a tough time, and Lip just took over the series. Like I was fucking pissed about losing the series or whatever, so he just went crazy on like Servasa or something like that. I think realistically, if you get performances like that from Lip, and then Heesang is just like surprising everybody, or not surprising everybody, I want to say that, but like Heesang is playing up to that level as well, where now you have peak Lip and then peak Heesang at the same time. Like then I think it gets really tough for Falcons because I do think that maybe Falcons they've been very blessed that both Proper and Stalker played at a very high consistent level, whereas sometimes before Heesang has maybe showed It's an experience last year a few times at least. I say that with them having won major tournaments and they're like the best team in the world. But anyway, if he's saying it's like just dominating everybody, I think they'll pound. All right, Jaws, do you want to go ahead and take the next one?
Sure.
Here we go. Spin the wheel.
Come on, once again.
Oh!
Wait, what is that? What is it? What is it?
It's
Nightmare. Okay. Nightmare.
Dude, they lost 6 maps in a row in Soup Cup. They lost 3-0 to Way and 3-0 to T1 this weekend.
I know. Zera tweeted too that he was really pissed at like the performance and stuff like that. Like he wasn't happy with himself, kind of thing, which is really sad. Nightmare. Fuck, man. The T1 game as well is like holy shit. Like T1 they were beasts, absolute fucking beasts. You can blame that on jet lag. You can blame that on being not not home PC. Not I'm not using my mouse, bro. Not using my mouse. Yeah, not a pretty game. Not a pretty game at all. It was actually kind of disappointing, in all honesty, because I thought Nightmare, as things have been going, especially if we go towards this like more divey meta, I was expecting, hey, a little bit of dive, a little bit of RAM maybe as well. How did Nightmare win? Not Stockholm. China though. Oh fuck. Oh fuck.
Yeah, how do they win, buddy?
How do they win?
You know what's going to happen? Lethal again is going to be out shopping, and they're down in a series. They are down. They're in the finals against Crazy Raccoon. He's gone out to get snacks for the team or something. And then they're gonna.
It's like I'm gonna get some snacks in China.
He's gonna get some snacks. He's gonna go get some snacks, and then they're gonna call him and say, "Yo, someone DC'd their hand DC'd their hand's broken or something." And then he comes back just like that Junkertown game. He locks on Junkertown's in the pool as well. He locks Widow and just absolutely farms. He has the life game, and then we see Lip fall off for the first time ever in that finals versus.
We see Lip fall off.
We see Lip fall off. Heesang doesn't really show up, at all. Lip ends up falling off. He goes the Widow 1v1. He thinks, I'm better than this guy. Lethal comes in, bag full of snacks, no playtime at all, hasn't warmed up, hasn't practiced, cold hands going in, just dominates Crazy Raccoons in the final. Just, relying solely on DPS, which, to be fair, you can. The mental game from Nightmare after losing 6 maps in a Soup Cup, not phased. It was a trick.
I will say one of the things I don't want to say I learned from Soup Cup, but one thing that was just so starkly or like evidently I'm just rambling. What am I saying? It was very obvious how like if you have a hit scan player that like in this meta, you have room to pop off. Like you can just take over the game. And so I think Proud was an example of a player who just like had insane matches and just like took over the matches. It felt like Proud was just like super oppressive on the Sojourn. Like I'll lose your wall riding, Proud hits a railgun shot, and then everyone follows up on it. And if you have that kind of like coordination with your Sojourn player, where you hit a railgun shot and everyone follows up on it, like you're just going to get picked before the fight even begins. And I think you saw early on day 1 of Nightmare, they were just like overwhelmed. Like they played slow, coordination wasn't there at all, and Proud just like walked into the lobby and just took over the game and just hit like insane railgun shots, right? And I would say the same even kind of like to some degree went for like Aid. Like Aid just looked amazing. And I'm, credit to Aid and all, but I think it's also like part of the meta. Like in this kind of like hazard meta, and now we're seeing like Oris and stuff like that as well. In this meta, anyway, going into this tournament, it seems like in this case, a player like Lethal could have a tremendous amount of impact on the end results of Nightmare if they can really set up good railing shots.
Admiral UV in the back line, best flex support we have in North America, UV. Cuffer playing Winston for a little bit of dive. Hey, I'm just saying, it could happen.
I will say Cuffer was nice. To be able to have Cuffer on that roster with it seems to be a pretty flexible player and can at least is probably the only North American tank, I guess, outside of like Kellen that can like sort of like allow a team to play dive a bit. So
Cuffer 100%. Cuffer's Winston is pretty good.
It looked really rough in the first matchup, but you could so clearly tell against T1. First of all, T1 is an amazing team, which is, you learned that from that matchup. But also, you could tell that Nightmare just did not play their own game, and they really didn't put their best foot forward. Because, like, they would play so slow, and Kaffa would just get, like, blown up on the winds.
Dude, it's the 0-6 psyop. That's it. You lose 0-6 in the Soup Cup. Hey, you come in, you start pounding. You're not giving anything away, bro. T1 had nothing to lose there, man. They're not playing in this major.
It was actually insane how they dominated. Yeah, but they looked better in the lower bracket final. I will say Nightmare, even though they didn't win a single map. I just felt like their play at least started coming together a little bit. Like Kaffa would jump in, and like Zero would be there, Ultraviolet would be there. They looked like they were on the same page, had the same kind of ideas and stuff like that. The execution wasn't enough to like win a map.
New setup,
but the second series was a lot better than the first one. And so
new mouse, different location, different water bottle.
I will say as well, Zero didn't really seem phased. I think Zero had some great moments still, even though they lost 0-6 in maps. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Nightmare really struggled against those Korean teams, but you know, hopefully they got some stage experience and they learned quite a bit. So glad to see how it goes. All right.
But if I don't cast once again this tournament, I'm going to be so mad, dude. I want to see them pop off so bad.
Wait, but I thought you were casting this tournament.
I hate this guy so much. This guy.
He's funny.
Dude, look at him. Look at him. Point and laugh at that motherfucker.
That's right. We're getting very SpongeBob coded here. With like
feel it. Yeah. With the hands and stuff. I like that.
All right, spin the wheel. Spin the wheel.
What has Johnny got? Spin that wheel.
It's gone. Oh!
Please give me Alcatsia. Please give me Alcatsia. Oh, thank fucking God.
Go on, Johnny. Go on, Johnny. Alcatsia win OWCS.
Checkmate locks the Reinhardt. And they run it down mid. Do you remember that glorious moment when Checkmate was first introduced into the Overwatch esports scene? For Florida Mayhem, and OG was like, I need a vacation. And OG was like, I need a vacation, and he took a bit of a break. Maybe Avast has like inside knowledge about this whole situation. I don't know if
I was there when it happened. I mean, it's already been discussed to death. OG was just boomed. That's it.
Boomed? Yeah.
That's all it was. OG was just fucking... I mean, it's not even a secret. OG was like the most terminally mentally boomed player in the Overwatch League. So it was just a boom. He was just boomed. That was it.
It just boomed. And then we got to experience the glorious Checkmate Reinhardt for some time there, just charged in. And it was a lot of fun for the first matchup. Now, we live in a time where Checkmate is, or has been for a couple of years now, but an Overwatch League champion. An amazing player. Just blossomed. Okay, I'm getting there. I'm just building up the context here, Joss.
He's literally putting so much bullshit before it. Like, what's he trying to get to here?
I'm building up the case. I'm just saying you really need to like respect this roster because of the history that goes into it. Checkmate now is like a really well-rounded, arguably underrated damage player as well, because no one ever talks about Checkmate. You have Landon as well. All that experience under Christopher, the communication in the backline, coordinating with the rest of the team. You have World Cup champions on this roster as well. It's gorgeous. Labda, now in a meta where you can play both the Sojourn and the Pharah if need be. We've seen so much Pharah gameplay, for example. So if you need one of the best Pharah players out there, then you can always rely on Labda to get out there, bring back the good old classics that have helped Labda so much in the past. So that could be a great boon for this team. That could be a great ace up their sleeve to beat some of these slower teams. Just like, we're just going to put Labda on Pharah, and Labda is going to dominate the lobby. Not only that, but we're actually in a scenario in EMEA where Labda just like turned it on the Sojourn and was one of the most impressive Sojourns in the entire region. So not only do you have like, excellent Pharah gameplay, you can just completely shift the dynamic of your team by having one of the best Sojourn players from EMEA as well and just turn it up against international competition. And then you put an Overwatch League champion in Checkmate alongside them who can play whatever hero you need from Checkmate. They're just going to roll up, they're going to pick it, and suddenly you're in for one really scary damage duo, held down in the backline as well with Landon. I think this is a team that is going to be a dark horse. It's going to be a dark horse team. No one is going to think about Alcatsia. Everyone's going to be like, oh, once again, we're so scared about once again. Like, are we going to mirror the dive? What's going on there? Space Station Gaming kind of like has the same aura like Toronto Defiant last year. We were just like, oh, this team is so scary to play against. Then there's Korean teams. No one thinks about Alcatsia. Everyone just forgets about Alcatsia. I'm telling you, this team, they're going to surprise people. You're going to get up into the lobby against them and you're going to be like, what the fuck is this bullshit? It's going to be Twisted Minds of Stockholm. We're just like, you learn into the lobby and just like, oh, we heard in scrims, AVRL, they suck. Turns out they're going to dominate. They're going to like just flip the entire match on its head. Checkmate alongside Labda. They're just going to demolish the opposition in the lower bracket. They're in for a deep lower bracket run here, AVRL, so beware. Watch out.
Honestly, like, I don't think you're too far wrong with that, just because they have just been the dark horse the entirety of the stage one. Like, everyone's like, oh, they're going to do okay. Like, they're, we kind of expect them to be maybe like fourth kind of thing, but they kind of collapse, like, kind of dominate. I don't know if they're going to take down VP, bro, but this is like the dark horse of the dark horses. Will they be
all right,
succeed,
so let's say this.
You think AVRL is more dark horse than Nightmare? I don't think so.
The fuck?
They are okay. No, let me ask you this question. Okay, AVRL, they're playing Team Falcons in the first matchup.
Yeah,
they'll lose that matchup against Team Falcons.
Yes,
because so many teams would lose to Team Falcons. Like it's and then people will look at that result and be like, "Wow, AVRL, they lost to Falcons. Yeah, whatever. They're obviously not good enough." Then let's say Virtus Pro looked really good in Soup Cup. They beat once again, and then once again gets demoted to the lower bracket. So we get a matchup between AVRL and
once again AVRL.
Yeah. Let me ask you this:
is there a bracket swap?
What? No, but it's always in the lower bracket quarterfinals that the swap happens.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Who do you think is more going into that matchup between AVRL and once again? Which of the two teams loading into the first map coming out of spawns is more like, what the fuck is going on? Do you think once again, or like, what the fuck is this AVRL team? We've never heard of these guys. They're just like insane. Or do you think AVRL are just like, what the fuck are once again doing? They're playing off meta stuff and Shy and Leave are dominating. I'm telling you, there's an argument to be made where historically, once again, they've been the dark horse. They've been the underdog who plays the off meta dive with Shy pounding. Now we're entering a new world, a new chapter of Overwatch Esports history where AVRL is the new team where you go, what the fuck are they doing? And they're just playing all these kinds of different weird compositions, and damage players find a way to make it work. We're in for a new reality in Overwatch Esports. I'm telling you.
The headcanon is going crazy. Dude, the fanfics are insane.
They're crazy.
The fanfics are going crazy.
Did you see it? It's a little believable, right?
No.
Twisted Minds in Stockholm proved to the world that even the underdogs can go far in the tournament.
But the difference is that Twisted Minds had a particular... Twisted Minds weren't... Correct me if I'm wrong, because it feels like it's happened so long ago. Weren't they essentially... was that when they were one-tricking a comp, or was that just them like getting? Was that just like
they played to their strengths, just like AVRL.
Was that Quartz just going insane? I'm trying to remember exactly. What was the meta they played at? Were they playing lab? Were they having?
I remember they loaded into New Junk City and they rolled out with Quartz dominating, and they played Pharah on New Junk City, and you were like, what the fuck? They're playing Pharah on New Junk City first? Like, what the fuck is happening here?
Game,
yeah. So I'm trying to remember, like, was that the majority? Like, because they had something that really, really worked for them. Well, I don't think, like, you look at AVRL comparison, like, okay, checkmate, Genji,
dude, you're gonna rock up and you're gonna get fucking owned by Shy on Sojourn.
I mean, I guess they could theoretically do some crazy bullshit. Okay, you know what, Johnny, you won me over. Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
The crazy bullshit.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's like a very it's a fan fiction for sure. It's a
fan fiction for sure.
You gotta see the vision. You gotta believe. You gotta believe. All right, Avast. It's back to you.
That wheel spin. AVRL spin that wheel.
Just don't give me Team CC.
If this one is once again, that'd be so funny.
It's Team CC.
Dude, I don't think CC that bad. You guys are all like, oh, this.
Do you want to take this one, Josh? Do you want to steal it from Avast?
Well, first of all, I didn't say Team CC was that bad. By the
Johnny
way.
said
I didn't say that. Johnny said that. So you guys.
I think Team CC will be the 8th team in the tournament. I think it'll be the worst team here.
I mean, like I said, I haven't even seen their match. I didn't go to Billy to
That's convincing.
Watch.
I'm already
I haven't seen their stuff. On paper though, obviously on paper, the roster has some pretty good players like Kaneki, Pineapple Gaga, Faraway.
You
like
just read off the roster.
Who changed his name?
Well, but by the way, I've told you I haven't seen the match for China. I don't know where I'm supposed to watch it. It's on Billy. Where was I supposed to watch this thing? Like, where was I even supposed to watch?
Stream, yeah.
AVRL co-streaming, yeah.
So, I mean, it just wasn't possible for me. I've been moving. And Apple's fucking dead, so we can't even ask him. He died.
Dude, this is so funny because this would be his turn and he would pop off.
This really would be Apple. So, I'm going to say Team CC, tag team. Jaws, hop in. Hop in.
There we go. Look, Team CC, I can't believe, Johnny, you think this team is going to be like 9th place. Do you even give them maps? Like,
Ninth
honestly.
place.
9th place. Yeah, they're going to be 9th place. They're going to invent a place.
They're going to be
place.
worse. They're worse
place.
than the worst
Yeah.
team.
Genuinely, Johnny, do you think they're going to take maps? Like, in your honest opinion?
Take maps? I mean, yeah, maybe they'll take maps of Nightmare. Maybe.
Well, when you saw their gameplay, what about it was so bad? What about it was Team CC that was so bad? I guess is what I want to ask, because I'm looking at the roster and I'm like, this roster shouldn't be that bad.
I feel like your premise is very built upon the fact that they've potentially not played Overwatch for like the whole year, which has got to be false.
Dude.
But also, they literally did just play Overwatch.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So-
welcome back, China. Yeah, we're welcoming back the Chinese region. I just
Because
think
they
it's still
dominated their groups.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a huge tier gap. First of all, I think there's a huge tier gap between like the OWCS China teams who are like playing in groups versus like the Rock Esports, once again, Team CC. And then there's another tier gap between like once again and Rock and Team CC. And so I just feel like, we look at once again, and they're going to be like, I think once again are going to be like quite underrated going into this tournament. I actually think they have a ton of upset potential. I think Team CC, like, I think it's a combination of like being quite rusty at the game, and I don't think that they'll necessarily have had the required practice against like really good rosters to match the regions of like EMEA and
Am I losing my fucking mind?
I think
like,
there's tons of talent on like a Nightmare
Am I
Space
losing
Station,
my
Virtus Pro,
fucking
Alcancia.
mind? Johnny has like gone onto Wikipedia, deleted the entirety of Once Again's team history and like all the players, and gone, actually, Chinese Overwatch, not that good actually.
Okay,
like,
to be fair, superstar rosters aren't a guarantee. But
okay, fair enough. But he's saying that Once Again could be like, they could upset teams. These are like the best Chinese players to ever touch the game. Like, Leave Shy, and even a Pridda too. Remember, he was on Guangzhou Charge, and AVRL was like, this guy's the fucking GOAT. I don't know if he was the GOAT at that point. I'm gonna be freaking real. But Shy, Leave, Gushwei, motherfucking Gushwei, in this meta, which is like, we could play Ball, we could play Dive, we could play Winston, and then fucking Mew, who's changed his name a billion times, Mew, Yveltal, Xerneas, and then Monk in the backline. I just think you're underrating both these teams like to an insane degree. You can underrate Team CC, to be fair. They aren't going to be as like good as Once Again, 100%, like no way. But like, this is a super team, Johnny, a super team. This team is going to make it super far. Maybe I'm just going to get called out
Super far
on day 2, where they get eliminated like straight up and they get beaten by Nightmare, Space Station, whoever the fuck. But I just can't believe you're underrating these guys. That's crazy.
Okay, so you just look at EWC. Like, what at EWC, you could just quickly reference that tournament and be like, oh, well, if that's the case, Jaws, and you're looking at all these players who are like brilliant and they're going to have like huge success on the international stage, it's like they lost to Toronto Ultra. They beat Falcons in groups, which, fuck, that's not really helping my argument here. But like the fact that they kind of lost convincingly to like Toronto Ultra, and they also lost to Twisted Minds in their group at EWC. Do you not think that that's kind of like made a dent in the armor of Once Again or going to dominate on the international stage?
And it was such a different meta too. Like, this is like the meta, Sojourn perma meta. She has been for like a long time. I just think you're underrated. I can
also,
understand you underrating
so
Team
Winston
CC.
could be played more.
Yeah, and exactly. And I can understand your point of Team CC and like, okay, that team is going to be like the upset team. I get it. Insane is like the only player that's like, okay. But Kaneki, decent history as a player. Pineapple is very good. Gaga, wrecking fucking Ball. We're playing a dive meta, potentially, right? Then Super Rich in the backline. AVRL was always like Super Rich is the GOAT. Again, don't think he was the GOAT, but insane backline with Farway as well. I just think this team has unbelievable potential, and you're just rating them way too low. This team is not coming in 8th. There's just no way, bro. No way. And then once again, easily go into upper bracket finals, lower bracket
What team
finals.
do you think is worse than Team CC?
Alcatia.
All right. That just feeds into my dark horse argument against Alcatia.
Yeah, and it does. And I think this is a perfect position for Alcatia to be in, to be really honest with you, because this is exactly the same position they were in stage 1 of OWCS.
I will completely admit to you, Jaws. I'll completely admit to you, Jaws, that I dislike Team CC because of the fact that they reverse swept Rock Esports, and I was so mad that Rock Esports lost that reverse sweep 5-map banger in OWCS China, because I just felt like they threw it away. I thought that Rock was the better team and the more promising team, and I wish Rock Esports was here, but CC ended up reverse sweeping them because, in my mind, because of Rock Esports mistakes. And so, yeah, do I hold that against Team CC that like Rock Esports should have been here? Yeah, maybe I'm being unfair in that regard. Maybe I'm being unfair against Team
holding
CC.
a grudge. He's just
Maybe I'm holding a grudge towards Team
While
CC.
I do agree with you. In theory, in my head at least, power rankings wise, is like Team CC and Alcatia are probably the bottom teams coming into this. Once again, you're underrating massively. They are the GOATs. And it's up to Team CC to prove how high they can really go. I think they can definitely punch up to teams like Nightmare, teams like Space Station as well. I will not take the slander of once again. I will not. I refuse.
No, not once again. I'm a not once again fan. What are you talking about?
You just said both Chinese. Well, okay, you said more on Team CC side, but you were still underrating once again. You were saying both Chinese teams, once again, can upset teams. They're gonna fucking dominate.
All right, so I will grant you this, Jaws. You haven't been on the last few episodes, but I've essentially been saying that I could see a path for once again to get like top 4 this tournament. Like, so we're on the same side here, Jaws. We're on the same side here, Jaws.
Okay.
I'm simping for once
So,
again.
so based off that defense, then are we? So Team CC we're like, there was no argument they win the thing. Essentially, the argument was that they finished second in the back.
I will say, Jaws successfully made me feel bad about my take that Team CC was going to be the worst.
But that's not really an argument though. Like making you feel bad isn't an argument. That's like
that is the best outcome for the argument.
He literally just like played to your emotions. You're like, you know what? He's got a point. Like it's like no, that's not a point. He's just appealing to your emotions. Like you just fell for the emotional bait.
Yeah, I did.
There's no actual
stacked.
point.
Their DPS stacked.
To the emotional bait.
Dude, I'm just saying.
I personally, looking at Team CC, I would say like they're based off the everything. I haven't watched the game. Based off their history as players, based off the fact that China has not played consistent Overwatch for a long time, and everything else associated with that, I have a hard time believing that Team CC would be better than a Katsia level. Personally, I would just say like. Maybe this is the moment where all of AVRL's Chinese copium really fucking comes to the fore after all of these years. It's been fermented and it's here.
God.
And
I wish he was alive.
I just don't see it happens. I wish he was alive too. Once again, I could see maybe having some moments, but yeah, Team CC just on paper.
Based on the previous episodes, I don't even think AVRL would make a case for Team CC. Like he's on the same page with me, so. I don't know. I don't want to speak for him, but that's the. We should move on.
He's not here.
We should move on.
That's how
we didn't really make a case for Team CC, but that's all right. They'll end last anyway. Moving on. Who's next? Jaws. You kind of tag team that one because Avast subbed out.
I mean, that's fine.
So to be fair, like he just did the thing that I would have done anyways. But like, they're probably not going to do pretty well.
I think my thing here was that Johnny was slandering them too much.
Okay, maybe I did. Yeah. All right. Jaws, you unwillingly or willingly.
I mean, come on now. Dude, this is no, it's not once again. I was gonna say, dude, if it's once again, just VOD watchers skip back 5 minutes and you can watch that again. Space Station Gaming. You see, with Space Station, they're in a weird spot, I think, because if you look back the way Kellen was kind of performing before on things like Wrecking Ball and things more like dive orientated, it was, oh my God, that Eichenwalder game where he just did like absolutely nothing is just burned into my brain on Ball. And everybody was like, oh my God, like please switch. Like it just wasn't working. But honestly, look, Seeker Sugar Free, I thought Space Station were probably going to win NA, especially going into stage 1. I was like, this team's probably rank 1. Well, where do we rank them on the power rankings, actually, in North America? I'm really curious. It's got to be near the top, if not the top of NA. I think the thing that only worries me slightly about Space Station would be their backline, Bliss, CJ, in this kind of meta. But Kellen, Sugar-Free, Seeker, Echo, Tracer, Ball, Winston, like kind of dive, really fast play. This team is going to do well in this kind of meta, man. Well, I think Kellen is improved over the course of stage 1. Doesn't look as like flat on the Wrecking Ball. I mean, I don't know, but like this team's gonna go fucking far. Like winning the whole thing, Steel Manning winning the entire OWCS China against teams like Crazy Recruit and Falcons. This is the hardest task I've ever been put to, bro. Ever been put to.
What are you talking about? Sugar-free is LeBron. Like just
he is Sugar Braun.
Give him the ball.
He is Sugar Braun. Will he overcome Lip on the Tracer 1v1? Will he overcome Lip in the Tracer 1v1?
The aura would be crazy. His TikTok, the next TikTok he makes would be insanity.
Imagine this: 17 million view TikTok, sugar-free, one clipping Lip out of spawn on Tracer. Lip doesn't even recall. It's that quick. Triple blinks. Pulses the backline, Shu explodes. Chorong shot down in the skies as he's going for the B, Ajaxing, Space Station Gaming, Sugar Free, lifting the fucking trophy and just dumping the Gatorade on him, you know? Like, that is the vision I'm having in my mind. Imagine that TikTok. Imagine how crazy that TikTok would be.
Can I add to your case here?
Sure.
I'm going to make the case.
I didn't make a strong case, to be honest.
I'm going to make the case that SSG losing to Nightmare was good. Versus G.
Oh, what, to get the better bracket?
Well, I mean, you gotta play Crazy Raccoon first, which is tough. You would have liked to see Team CC.
You're
but
saying
let's be real.
A space station
Does
run
it matter?
Back
does it matter? Doesn't matter, does it?
Does it matter in terms of what? This overall tournament?
I mean, if they won, they get the slot on CC, which is
so like
preferable.
whatever. You would have lost in the upper bracket semifinals to Crazy Raccoon, or you're losing to Crazy Raccoon in the first round.
Sure.
I mean, I think it's better to go deep bit further produce it. Personally, I mean, what Space Station, I think
I guess you would have flipped that to the other side of the bracket where you play like once
if they don't have to play
Pro.
if they don't have to play like Mauga and shit, it could try to force Kellen to go like Perma Winston. Like there's something there.
I'm gonna continue making my case here. So the differential between winning North America and getting second in North America was $10,000. The first place winner in North America gets 30K. The second place team gets 20K. Okay. Just so happens that for the Champions Clash, there's a sick ass Juno crowdfund bundle on our hands here, which is just going to generate lots of money for the prize pool, and it's going to boost the prize pool. It's going to be one of the biggest prize pools we've ever seen in Overwatch. Okay, it's going to be absolutely bonkers because people love this Juno skin. I think that SSG losing to Nightmare, it gave them so much motivation. It made them feel mortal. They thought they were the gods of North America, but this actually made the case for them that, oh, we're actually mortal. Like we can actually like lose to some of these teams in North America. That's a really bad indication going into a global event where we're going to be forced to play Korean teams. We're going to be forced to play once again. Like if we're losing to Nightmare, how can we possibly have confidence going into matches like against Korea and some of the best teams in the world? So this has lit a fire under SSG, which has meant that their practice has been even more efficient, and they've gotten so much more out of their practice leading into this event than they would have ever gotten had they actually won North America and just like, I don't want to say coasted, but they would have at least felt like, oh yeah, we feel really good about ourselves. We won North America. We're the best team from North America. We're awesome players. That loss is going to mean that they're going to come into Champions Clash a better team because they recognize their mortality, and they're going to spend even more effort, energy, and focus and motivation to make sure they're the best possible team going into Champions Clash. And that 10,000 grand, which was the difference between first and second, they're going to make up for that with a deeper placement at the Champions Clash. And that extra motivation will benefit them more and gain them more money in prize pool than the difference between first and second and NA would have ever been.
Bro said 10,000 grand, the $10 million difference.
You just did the meme of like, some guy offered me a job and I said, no, actually, I turned it down so I could grind harder. That's literally you just did. Like, you essentially just repeated that for like why, but it's for them getting second play.
It's motivation. That's how it works.
Another way to look at that too, the script writers just were Nightmare fans because they got knocked down to lowers, right? And they just beat lowers. Like Nightmare went the whole way, right? So maybe maybe the script writers just wanted Nightmare to win, you know, and Space Station were always going to be the bridesmaid, never the bride kind of deal.
Maybe like a little bit of false confidence there as well, because like maybe you play Nightmare again in the lower bracket, then your Nightmare will be like, oh
dude,
yeah,
that would be a sick way to advance through lowers. If they,
I don't know. I think
beat
this is
9
900 IQ from SSG. This is going to benefit them. That loss is going to benefit them. And now, like you said, like I don't know how much Winston we're going to see. We'll probably see some Winston. Kellen on the
Feels
hazard.
divey.
Seeker is going to pop off on the hit scan, and then you have Sugar Freeze, like one of the best tracers in the entire tournament. This is setting up for a big SSG tournament.
Nerfed recently, but I don't think it's that crazy.
Come on, it'll still be played. It'll be like the primary flex hero.
Yeah, I guess.
And then you just have Seeker pop off against international competition. This is going to be a big boon for SSG. I think SSG. Okay. I think they have a Toronto Ultra or Toronto Defiant aura here going into this event.
Really?
I
like that actually. A little Toronto.
Maybe Virtus Pro makes me waver a little bit because I think Virtus Pro look good in soup, but I get some good aura from SSG going into this tournament. I think they're gonna play really well. I'll be disappointed if they do poorly actually. All right, let's get on with it. We got 3 more teams, 2 more teams.
Yeah,
3 more teams.
I mean, these are pretty easy.
Avast, you want to do the honors?
Honor everybody.
I'm fine with all of these.
Here we go. Spin the wheel, baby.
Oh! Guys, I wonder how Falcon wins this.
How has he got both Korean teams?
I wonder how Falcons wins this one, guys.
Oh my god!
How do they do it?
Dude, he's paid Solomon off.
Wait a minute. I'm just gonna pretend like I've never seen this team before. Okay, let's check the roster.
Sure.
Okay, who's roster at? Let's see what this roster has. Okay, proper. He's pretty good. Stalker. Oh, okay. Okay, that's a pretty good DPS line. Oh, Hanbin tank. That's a pretty good tank. He's really good. Oh, Chio support. Okay. What's that? Is that Sir Majed? Sir Majed's on this team? Sir Majed's on this one? Oh, and Fielder. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think they'll win. Yeah, I think they'll win. I think they'll win. Yeah, I'm gonna say that they win. Actually, here's the real win condition. They make it to grand finals. First map rolls up. Fielder falls over, breaks his hand. His wrist hits the ground or something. Majed, time to shine. Comes on out, vape in hand, takes one quick hit, gets on the PC. 4-0. 4-0 grand finals. Perfect. I mean, I don't really have to say much. Falcons, this team is...
No Gibraltar in the pool.
Yeah.
No Gibraltar in the pool. No Gibraltar in the pool. So yeah, they're pretty much a favorite. They're who I would pick to win the event. So...
You see, that's kind of crazy, actually. I think, especially on a non-Malga. Yeah, I think on a non-Malga, I still fucks with them. I fucks with them real heavy. I think they kind of, I know they've been gifted meta-wise, but I feel like their overall coordination levels and how strong their frag control is. Would it be, I don't know. I feel like I've betrayed Crazy Raccoon a bit, but I felt like I had a lot of higher hopes for Crazy Raccoon previously. Now the metas never really went exactly their way, so this is a chance. But I just think Falcons, they've something about them feels, they just have that championship magic about them.
The championship magic.
No, I kind of agree with that.
The Showtime Lakers.
Yeah,
legit. No, seriously. I think the thing is, as well, if Hisang doesn't show up, I think Falcons just kind of roll. I really do.
I think the only way that Falcons gets like really turbo fucked is like somehow there's like a hard ball meta.
Oh yeah.
And even if they're because like that's when like the difference between like Hanbin and Jumbin would be huge, because like overall you look at the players across the board for like Crazy Raccoons, which is the most likely team to potentially make it into grands with them. Like I do think the player quality is pretty high across the board, and Falcons have always looked more consistently coordinated than Raccoons, for me personally, even though I know the meta's gone their ways. So I just feel better about Falcons as a whole. They look more cohesive.
And I don't think Permaball will ever actually happen.
Yeah, I don't think Permaball would happen. And on top of that, like because of the ban system now, it's a lot easier to mitigate a meta like that for sure. Like Falcons. So,
and dude, if ball meta did ever happen, Team CC Gaga. Just saying.
That's true. That's true.
Team CC Gaga. Yeah, maybe.
Just saying.
So yeah, Falcons. I mean, go take a look. If you guys haven't heard of them, you should take a look at the roster, and that's my argument.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, I'll take a look.
You take a look at them.
It's going to be interesting because what always happens at these international events is that like you come into the tournament and there's like a meta, and then Korean teams, they just deal with the opposition in the meta, and then Falcons and Crazy Raccoon, they play each other and they start like evolving the meta. Yeah, they just start playing like weird shit, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like it's like they're playing their own game against each other.
It's like they knew what the meta really was, but they just happy in mirrors, and then it's like, actually, guys, the meta was this, and then they just play like Winston or like, I don't know, Hazard or some bullshit. Yeah. If it's not either one of them, you know.
So I'm curious to see what the mid-tournament adaptation is going to be from the Korean teams when they eventually start getting some reps against each other. Yeah, and I think it's going to be interesting because, like I said, no Gibraltar in the pool. Hazard seems to be played a lot these days, but then at the same token, you know, we also seen some like Orisa, other heroes that make it tough for Hazard. We can like capitalize on some of Hazard's weaknesses, right? Kiriko ban is going to be really powerful. Maybe we'll see some Ana because of that, stuff like that, right? So it's going to be really interesting to see. I think what is kind of important though is that where generally you would have seen like Hanbin have a bit of a weakness, like Hanbin's Winston, for example. It seems to me that in this meta they can kind of like shore that up and play around that, right? So I think it's going to be really, really interesting to see. Like I think Hanbin will have a pretty comfortable tournament on his hands. Like I don't think Crazy Raccoon will force anything crazy from Hanbin.
No, I don't think so. You see, Hanbin messaged Gooshway the other day.
No, I didn't see this.
Yeah, he was like, Winston God Gooshway, I respect you. He's dude,
that's great.
Once again, I'll put a link for Solomon. Once again's Twitter, where the fuck? Oh, here we go. Once again's Twitter, if no one is following it in the audience, you should. It's really, it feels very like, it's like Chengdu Hunters Facts as well, like that Twitter account. It feels very like old school Overwatch League because it was sometimes hard to gauge like the community and stuff.
It's the same person, Solomon says.
Oh, it's the same person? I didn't know that. Okay, wow, there you go. It feels really nice because we had obviously there's always going to be a culture and language gap between like the Chinese teams and the players versus like the Western broadcast and the Western fans and stuff. So it was always nice to see the Twitter accounts just posting like these small interactions and stuff like that. And yeah, it was really cool. I love this Twitter account goes crazy. Yeah, there you go. Look there, Winston God Goucher, I respect you. Yeah, Winston it's cool, man.
I respect you so much.
I respect you. Yeah,
if you have the respect from Hanbin, you've made it.
Is it Chengdu Hunters Fast? Let me look. I saw a really funny one the other day where it's like you get paid more or something. Man, I don't know. Anyway, move on, Johnny.
All right, we got a couple of teams left once again, and we got Virtus Pro, I think. Let's head over to the wheel.
Spin that wheel.
Dude,
I can't find it. What is this?
Let's run through these two teams here relatively quickly. Here we go.
Yeah,
all right. Sure. Virtus Pro. Look, did you guys watch any of Soup Cup this past weekend?
Soup Cup.
Yes, I got some bits. They look good.
You got some bits. Virtus Pro. They look good.
Yep.
Bastola might actually be the GOAT.
He's very good. You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
He was like, okay, I know this is your Steel Man. He is like evolved as a tank over like this stage one and like over like OWCS as a whole, man. It's fucking awesome because it was like, holy shit, he's a Sigma god. He's so good at off tanks and stuff. He's just insane. Like this is his best form he's ever been in.
Yeah, I honestly like. I was just like, wow, Bastola is just like holding the front line of this team and like they're being proactive and like they're following up on each other. Like they're really well coordinated. And I was really impressed by Virtus Pro, actually. I know they lost to T1. It's not really what I'm talking about. But specifically when they played against Way, and then you saw like how Bastola was like positioning on the Orisa, the coordination they had when they played like Sigma and May on Circuit Real. Fixa was in the mix as well on the Brig as well. Mm-hmm. I thought like their coordination was on point. And the fact that they play like the back and forth with Way so impressively. Like they always had a game plan. They were being proactive. They were working around different angles, trying to put their composition in a place to succeed. Whereas just like playing like pretty straight up and allowing the opponent to get comfortable and allowing the opponent to get their stuff. Well, they didn't allow their opponent to get comfortable and allow their composition to flourish. So Virtus Pro, they always made things difficult for the opponent, and I love that. I think that Bastola always pressuring on the Sigma. They utilized the Sigma shield really well and played around that. They followed up on May walls accordingly. And I just love the initiation I saw from Bestol overall. So
Yeah.
I was really impressed by like the pace they were playing at, because it really felt like they were just pushing way to the absolute limits. And
It
then
feels like they are the
fast.
They are the fastest team in EU, like in terms of
100%.
play style.
Yes, they've been
like,
the fastest team in EU the whole time.
It's crazy too because Shockwave as well has like the best DPS partner you could possibly hope for, right? In the region, it's like, okay, Shockwave focus hit scan, and he kind of claps on it. And then Jwoo is such a flex god. He's so sick. His Genji is unbelievable. His Mei, like any kind of style of play that they want to do, whether that dive, rush, like Mauga, whatever, like Jwoo has everything that team could possibly need in a DPS. It is wild how good he is. It is.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mostly
ridiculous.
watched the Way series, but and then I just kind of like skimmed through the finals against T1. But they have like a great understanding of like when to play slow and set up their positioning and use their compositions to their advantage, and when to invest ultimates and go for like hero plays like that. Like there would be some cases where like, oh, we're gonna set up a solo in this positioning, we get point pressure, and then we're gonna win the fight because of how our composition works, and we're actually gonna play like the composition game, and we're gonna win because we're smarter than the other team. But then you'd also have fights where like something goes wrong, and then Jwoo like mid fights invests like a Dragon Blade and just pops the fuck off and gets like a 2k, 3k, and you're like, so they can combine both like. They're playing really smart with great chemistry and coordination, but they're also like individually just like popping off and making plays, which helps them win some other fights where like, maybe things have gone a little bit sideways or stuff like that, right? So I think the way they combined that was really impressive against Way. And, on one side of the bracket, you have Nightmare just like going 0-6 on maps. And then you have Virtus Pro, who like actually looked really good in their playstyle. And again, I'm not talking so much about the finals because I didn't watch a ton of the finals against T1. But I was impressed by Virtus Pro, the comps they brought out, the coordination, and how they play their game.
Okay, I'm going to say one more thing before we move on to the last team. This is it for Jwoo right here, because in OWCS, where he came from, Poker Face, like they're always going to be like the third team, the fourth team, or whatever behind Crazy Raccoon and Team Falcons. Like this is it. This is his chance now to take down like the goats of Overwatch, Proper, Lip, Stalker. Like this is his opportunity to just absolutely show up and be like, okay, I was just on the wrong team,
The kid is 17, bro. Or
no, if he doesn't make it now, he'll never make it. He'll be too old. He'll be too old. He'll be washed. He's not making it. He's not making it in.
No, that's not what I mean. That's not what I mean.
It's his only shot. Else he'll be washed. He'll be washed after this point.
This is it though. He's gonna come back in and be like, this is for Asia Stage 2 Poker Face where we lost again. Like this. I think this
that
is
did not have a lot of aura.
No, it did negative aura. But like, I'm just excited to see him match up against players like Proper and Lip. I want to see if he can, as with this roster, with this amalgamation of this roster, like actually step up to Crazy Raccoon and Falcons, because no one has done that. No one has ever done that in OWCS, right? Apart from each other at this point, especially on the highest levels of OWCS Esports in these majors. I want to see if Jwoo can do it. And I think if we see that, he's going to be like the generational talent. I really do believe that.
I think a lot of people, and honestly, like rightfully so, have been like, oh, Jwoo, only won EMEA. Like, how much is winning EMEA worth? Like, did you really do it against good competition?
And I think
I hear you on that argument. Like, okay, well, this is a global tournament. Like, if Jwoo pops off here, that's a big achievement.
Yes. I think that will cement him, like, really in high regard in terms of, like, DPS power rankings if we did, like, a global power rankings of DPS. And, maybe, the age does come into it. He's only 17. It's just like, okay, if this guy can smack the shit out of Lip a few times, like, win these 1v1s, like, win games against him, like, holy shit. Like, this guy's got an insane career ahead of him. Yeah, I think Virtus Pro are going to make it super far. I see them beating NA teams. I see them just kind of rolling through, in all honesty. I'm looking forward to this. These matchups against Crazy Raccoon and Falcons for VP are going to be so sick.
Yep.
So sick. Smash in the backlines as well in the coaching spot.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. I spoke over
I
you.
just shout out Smash. I think
Smash is a genius. I can't ever say that I've been very opinionated about Fixa as a player. I will say though,
very fair.
during Soup Cup, I found myself repeatedly just like, whoa, Fixa on the brig. Which like, I was just like surprised by the amount of times I saw like Fixa working, you know, with the Sigma May compositions, and then like joining in with the brig as well, and making plays, rallies, hitting good whips as well. And Fixa was like balling on the brig to a point where I was like, whoa, Fixa is popping off. Like it was noticeable on the broadcast how much impact Fixa had on the brig, which I didn't quite expect. And then there were a few times where, you know, you got the typical experience of like the main support player dies early, they're feeding a little bit, stuff like that, right? But there were a few maps there where Virtus Pro strung together where I was like, yo, Fixa is having like the brig game of his life right now, and made some plays on the brig.
Who was pogging at the brig player, which is honestly, if you're pogging at the brig player, you're really popping off. Because brig can really just be an invisible character sometimes in a server, so
it can be. I don't know this might just me talking out of my ass here, but the Korean teams, obviously, I think they play a little bit differently from like North America and EMEA. And if you're not quite accustomed to like the tempo of like a Korean match, and how like the fight is always kind of like winnable, and they're like, you know, keep contesting for like space around the map, and like always fight for angles, even if they're down like 2v4. Like and the EMEA is like very hard reset, just like, oh, we lost 2, hard reset, go back to spawn.
Right.
Korea, they're always kind of like, even if they're down, obviously they're not going to like invest into a fight like 2v5, but they're always still like backing off, not trying to die, but they're still, you know, like contesting with shots and playing for angles and stuff like that, right? And I felt like Fixa just had like a great understanding of just like the tempo of the game and like the flow of the game, and was never really like caught off guard or found themselves feeding or stuff like that. So. Fixa just seemed like they were in the flow. they were in the flow of things.
Fix has been good like all year though. I mean, even when he came in, even when we were like kind of popping on the scene, he was pretty solid. But I agree, there was no opinion. But I honestly,
was
Fix
he on
has been
Justice?
really.
Am I going crazy?
Yes, it was Justice, I believe. I'm pretty sure it was Justice.
No, it was Soul Infernal.
Was it Infernal?
Yeah.
No, I thought it was Justice. Or am I mixing it up with? Wait, who am I mixing it up with?
Who am I thinking of? Backline,
because he was on Fusion for sure, and he was also on the Uprising Academy.
Oh,
I guess you're right. No, you're right. It was. Yeah, I think I'm mixing up with some. I might have been mixing up with like
fucking Tuba,
because they had Tuba play.
You're mixing up with
Tuba,
Opener, I think.
Opener. I'm thinking of fucking Opener.
No, but didn't Tuba also play Brigida for Justice at one point?
I think
bringing up Tuba in the podcast.
Yeah, but either way,
don't say his name back.
No, don't talk about Tuba. Pretty much, he's been good though. He's been consistently good, and definitely a good find. So, the ghost of Fusion lives on. The ghost of Soul Infernal, it continues to live on.
All right, we got one more team, and surprise, it's once again. Let's just do it collectively.
Light bar on my head.
Do you have a light bar on your head? Spin the wheel. Let's. I think we've spoken enough about Once Again, especially on this podcast. We've talked a lot about Once Again. We freaking love this team.
They are the goats.
It's the Chinese All Stars.
Story players. The All Star team.
The
All Star team. If they bomb out or like they don't get like third or something, fourth, like I'm gonna be so disappointed. But I cannot see that in every reality. I'm looking every single reality, Doctor Strange style. I don't see it happening. This team is going to fucking pound. And you know, is there always a fucking meme like home field advantage? But it really is. Like playing in front of the Chinese audience as well is probably gonna fucking buff them up like a ton. Yeah, this team's cracked. Like, come on.
And it's a great meta for them, I'd say.
It's a great
depending on what we've seen. This team loves to play
fast.
dive. And even
Monk
if you
is also a sick Ana player. Like, so good. Like, their backline is good. DPS, world beaters. Like, Gushway is sick. Like, come on, man. Come on.
Dude, even if they play like Hazard, Sojourn Tracer, Lucio, Juno, like, they'll just like run it down. They'll just run it down.
Anything fast.
Run it down. Are you trying to say run it down in a good way or a bad way?
No, run it. Yeah, run it down to me is. Oh well, I don't think there's a
Run it
good or
down
bad
is
connotation to it, but-
negative.
Run
Really?
it down is like has a negative
Yeah.
connotation in League because it refers to you in
League of Legends is it running down mid is like
Yeah,
you have
it's
given
like-
up
Oh,
your
well,
instinct. Yeah.
I just when I
Johnny's
say
been
run it
using
down
run it
mid,
down like they're gonna run it down, guys.
I just use run it down as like describing aggression. Like they're just gonna go in. Like they're just gonna like pure unrelenting aggression, and they're gonna get involved. I just think that this team, they're because of hero bans, they'll be forced to play a few different compositions. But I think whatever it is, usually they'll be in a really good spot and just their damage player is gonna be comfortable. Their tank's gonna be comfortable. I think they're in a great position to have a
big
good
roster
tournament,
too. I'm curious if we see a Predator as well, like hard play, depending on meta.
I mean, I doubt it.
I'm still waiting for AVRL to be resurrected and be like, a Predator,
He's not coming, bro. He's not coming. He's not coming. This team has. You ever seen that meme where it's like, do we have like good writing? No, we have hype. We have hype moments in aura though. Like that's once again esports. Because I mean, this is like they do the roster. There's so much fucking talent on this roster. Like if I were to be like. If I were to be someone that like, if I had woken up again in like 2020, if like I awoke in like 2023, I got isekai into the Overwatch Esports ecosystem, and like I woke up and I go, and I'm like, oh dude, once again Esports, haven't heard of them. Let's check the roster. Who do they have? And it's just the Ratatouille guy of like, as I read down the list, like this is a fucking good roster. It's a really really good roster. I just think it's just the unknown factor because I think that's the one thing Johnny's hit on it, and it's kind of right. It's like we just don't know. Like how good they're gonna be because it's been so long. Like
we haven't had
played
much
one
like,
stage against a bunch of like plumbers in China that hadn't played the game or watched in a while. So on paper, this team should get a top 4 spot.
AVRL has also hit on this in the past as well, but just like how freaking funny it is that they have like the Pokemon modifier that is just especially good against Korea. Where all the Korean teams just like, oh, we're gonna match you and dive, and then the Korean teams lose, and then they're like, we're gonna play you in a Winston mirror, and once again are like, great, we'd love to play in a Winston mirror, and then inevitably Team China just beats the Korean teams. So maybe they get that buff again here, where all the Korean teams are like, yeah, let's just play Winston, Brigana, and once again are like, great,
it sounds good to us. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like they're playing like, oh, we're like a rush team or whatever. Like, no, they play dive. They will play fast. Like that game's going to be good. The VP versus once again is going to be a very.
We got once again esports. There it is. I mean, it's just to be fair. The crazy part too is that naturally, then if once again gets like a grand finals finish or something, then it just becomes like absolute cinema, which is inherently good writing in its.
If they beat Team Falcons in the upper bracket semis, people are going to like fucking lose their minds.
Yeah.
People will lose their fucking minds.
I'd pog out of my gourd. I'd pog out of my gourd for sure.
All right.
Is this the last segment? I have dinner.
Yeah, we've been on for a very long time. We're supposed to do a player rankings, but then 5 minutes before the show, I realized it was a dog shit segment, and so I'm going to change the YouTube title accordingly.
Okay.
We're not doing player rankings. We are though quickly going to run through our bracket here. I feel like because we need a bracket at the end of the day. We've been on for a long time, so maybe we'll rush through this a little bit. I apologize.
Let's do the obvious here. Let's do Falcons, Nightmare, Raccoon through.
Yeah, I agree with all that.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess just 2 woes.
Yeah, we'll just do 2 O's. And then,
Virtus Pro once again.
Virtus Pro once again. I want to say once again, but I think I'm just like high on my own supply at this point. But
Johnny, where do you stand?
Okay, here's where I stand. Virtus Pro, if they lose map 1, they're going to win Circuit Real. And so I think we're going to map 3 regardless.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
That's a good point.
That.
Unless, of course, like...
And then once again, get the fucking...
Unless Virtus Pro win the first map and then once again, like, block Circuit Real for, like...
I'm setting this up for the Aura. Virtus Pro wins, so that way if once again wins this, we can begin to pog.
Okay.
Because I just think naturally on my... Unfortunately, even though this roster is so fucking good, like, this Virtus Pro has been so incredibly dominant in U.
Yeah.
All year. And they've been playing the game Overwatch competitively the whole year, like consistently. You know, it just doesn't. If once again wins this is like these players are simply the goats. Like if they win, win early.
I think they kind of are. But if I'm happy to put VP through. I think if this does happen, once again, probably make a very, very good lower bracket.
Dude, I'm feeling once again just drawing me in. It's like an energy.
It
like
is.
An
No,
inescapable energy.
seriously. It is. And then Falcons, Crazy Raccoon through.
So are we going VP or once again?
VP, right?
I'm
we-
going
wanna-
VP.
are we-
I'm going VP personally. I think I'm going VP. I just
Jack?
once again is such a fucking.
I want to say
hard
once again
pick.
so bad, Johnny. Johnny, decider.
No, I've actually decided against it once again.
Are we going once again? We're going once again.
yes.
We're
Once
going
again,
once
give me
again.
one.
Okay, yes.
They're
Okay,
making it
this
fair.
is
I mean,
really good. This is
I
really good.
I feel bad, but also I don't feel bad.
Okay.
Yes, it's
All right.
good.
Here we go. Team Falcons against once again in the upper
See,
bracket.
this is fucked. I think so. Falcons. Falcons
what
win
if
here.
though?
I know it's a
What if though?
They beat them in EWC.
We can't send. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. This is
Team
where it's
China
like,
against South Korea.
We can't send
Oh,
once
God.
again to the grand finals in their first event back.
Yeah, we
in
can't.
Like a
We can't.
year.
It's not possible.
we just can't do
Yeah.
it. We can't. We don't have the technology.
Falcons
We don't have
through.
the technology to do that.
Give me a close series though. Give me the 3-2.
3-2?
Yeah.
Okay,
And
okay.
then Crazy Raccoon. Do Nightmare take a map? I don't think so. Personally, it's probably a 3-0.
Yeah, I agree.
No,
Yeah,
3-0.
3-0.
No.
Yeah,
Not-
3-0.
dude,
They're just
Nightmare
too
got
cracked.
3-0'd by Way and T1.
Yeah. There's just no way.
It's definitely it's a hard 3-0.
Like they're
no
losing 3-0 to Raccoon. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, buddy. All right.
Yeah,
VP
So-
against Alcadia.
VP.
I think VP wins.
Come
yeah,
on.
definitely
Like,
VP.
they head and shoulders top of the region.
I'll give Alcadia a map. 3-1.
Sure. Yeah. 3-1. Yeah,
It's
that's
a
good.
beautiful bracket, by the way.
Team
There's
CC,
a
Space
pick'em?
Station.
Oh,
Ooh, the Lenny lower bracket run for Space
I
Station.
think this might be a banger game. I'm not gonna lie. This
It could
be a
be.
banger.
It could
I'm
be
going
fire.
3-0 Space Station.
3-0 Space Station.
Oh,
Holy
can you at least
shit.
give TCC a
No,
one?
give
Give
Team
TCC one.
CC a couple. Okay.
One map, one
They
map,
need a
fine.
one.
Okay,
One map
one.
is fair.
Okay,
That's
one.
Just the
reasonable.
one
to me.
map. All right.
One's reasonable.
All right, no one's going to bomb out the tournament. There you go. All
I
right.
feel so bad now. I think VP just win Nightmare against Nightmare.
Yeah, I think
that's-
VP beats Nightmare too.
I mean,
think they just keep
VP
it shallow.
dominant. I think VP. Dominate's a little unfair. I think Nightmare could take a map versus VP.
3-1? 3-1.
I think a 3-2 here. Nightmare come
Okay.
back. Yeah.
I'm gonna up it up.
Okay, yeah, I'm done with the 3-2.
Because also you think about their style. You think about these team styles. I feel like they're like kind of similar across the board with how they play a little bit. The Kuffa, I just think Vestola might be a little bit more flexible in certain tanks, while Kuffa's a bit more of a main
Yeah.
tank player. So like I look at that and I look at like the rotation of like we change some of the map pool here, and I feel like stylistically they match up pretty decently against each other. So
Yeah, and it's not often we're going to see. I don't know how much we're going to see clear as well. Like,
Or
could be
nothing.
bit-
I
Yeah.
don't think that Clear's going to play that much.
Yeah.
It's a couple
3-2
meta.
VP. I think this is good.
Yeah.
This is good.
Okay, this is
This is an insane one.
honestly, it might be the most pivotal match
It is.
in the
It
entire
is.
bracket, because on one hand, it is extremely possible to me that once again beat SSG here. And we
I
leave
think
that
so.
series going like, holy shit, SSG got beaten by once again. But
think of the
also, if we
storyline
Pred
too,
once
bro.
again, we could get mega clowned on for believing once again we'll make the deep one.
But Pred here, once again, they rematch versus VP. That's a fucking sick series if that happens. The storyline there goes crazy.
Who'd you take, Sugar Free or Leave?
God.
Who do I
Seeker
take?
or Shy?
Sugar-free
Sugar-free.
or Leave?
Sugar,
Or-
Seeker or Shy?
I mean, like at face value, if you were to give me that statement in 2023, I would literally be like, "Get the fuck out of my face!" I would be like, "You don't even know what to say." And now in 2025, it's a little bit different.
That's what I'm talking about, though. It's just like, I don't know, maybe I'm living like a few years in the past, but I've just seen like once again done it, you know? Like what they can achieve in like a playoffs like this.
It's hard to say. I just for the fucking aura factor, I do want to say once again, but we could get absolutely clowned on here.
We could get absolutely clowned on it. Or we could look like geniuses.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's my opinion. If we're putting a map 5 once again, they would beat to Falcons. They would beat Space Station.
Yeah.
They would. Yeah. So either they need to be 3-0'd by Falcons, or if we're keeping them at 5, then once again would beat Space Station. Handedly, by the way. Because like any team that's close to Raccoon or Falcons is going to dominate the nation.
No, it doesn't have to be logical. Nothing about this has to be logical.
That's so true. Oh, fuck.
No, I think it has to be semi-logical.
Give me two. Give me 2 for Space Station. 3-2.
Are we doing this?
Yes. This is it.
Are we doing
right
the 3-2 for
this
once
is
again?
It. This is it. This is it.
The thing
This
is,
is good.
I can, like-
And then VP win. And then VP win.
Oh no!
The revenge. The lower bracket revenge.
bracket
I don't like the
is so-
storyline. I don't like the storyline.
I like the storyline.
What is the
Best team in the
storyline is? What is the storyline is
The
that
storyline is once again beat SSG, but then once again lose to Virtus Pro,
the
who they beat
Virtus
earlier.
Pro.
Then VP make the lower bracket run all the way, you know? But they don't because they're going to lose to Falcon/Raccoon.
I actually think
I think Space Station might beat once again.
Okay,
And I personally think once again get
SSG
3-0'd by
will be more
Falcon.
scholarly than once again.
God,
And also, I
they'll
also
rock
think
up with
once
the more
again
well-rounded compositions and logical
would go
gameplay.
like 3-0'd or 3-1 by Falcons.
You're essentially betting on like how much caffeine did Chai and Leave have going into that day, and are
Right.
they like feeling themselves?
God, I will say if they pop out of control, I'm building a shrine. I'm building a shrine to Chinese Overwatch, and like I'm going to erect a monument if that happens.
Then VP beats Space Station here. And then... Yeah.
Are
they
we
beat-
sure about this?
Yes.
I kind of feel like as much as we can think about Virtus Pro dominating on Circuit Real, I feel like there's so many other maps in the pool as well.
I
where
just really
SSG
don't
would
think it
feel great.
matters. I don't know. I just have such a good feeling about Virtus Pro this tournament.
Do
God.
you?
Because I mean, like I said earlier, I felt like Space Station had like Toronto Defiant
See,
energy.
this could be EU bias because I've covered I've covered EU for the entirety of stage
have, yeah.
1. So like I've not casted NA, so I'm like that's probably
In
why.
Soup Cup, I'm trying to remember how did both Nightmare and Virtus Pro like. I mean, Virtus Pro did a lot better
Yeah.
than Nightmare.
Yeah.
And like Nightmare was pretty. I mean, Nightmare literally won stage 1. Obviously, looking pretty competitive. Like
Feels like a
I mean,
fluke more than anything with Nightmare.
It does. But like, I mean, realistically, if we base it off form and how good Virtus Pro has been, I think Virtus Pro is a pretty safe pick to go through here and beat Space Station.
I mean, part of it was because they were playing Sigma on Circuit Real,
Sure.
but the way they were playing around Vestola, it gave me like Team Finland at World Cup energy.
Team Finland at
Like
World
because
Cup.
like Vestola just like freaking knows what he's good at and he plays it so well.
Yeah,
That's
facts.
So yeah,
This is it.
was it Dallas
3-1?
last year where the EMEA teams just like
EP.
dominated the North American teams as well? I mean, I guess that was like NRG and what was the other Toronto Defiant?
Shock?
Yeah, yeah, it was NRG Shock and Toronto Defiant. Yeah, sure, I'll have Virtus Pro beating SSG. Oh, this bracket might be so fucking stupid, but
I mean, it could be fucking stupid, or it
crazy.
could be we're just the
Yeah.
goats. To be honest,
all right, Crazy Raccoons against Team Falcons. I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
go on.
I think I got Crazy Raccoon this tournament.
Crazy
still sticking
Raccoon
with
this
Falcons,
tournament.
I think they have the edge this tournament.
I think
Yeah,
Falcons.
I
I
agree.
think I'm still going Falcons. Unfortunately, if we're gonna go
Really?
Raccoons, we'll go Raccoons. But I'm still going Falcons.
I
Yeah.
am gonna go Raccoon with Johnny. I think, especially off of the Hanbin Malga, I think Raccoon win.
I think you put Lip on the Sojourn, and then you have Hisang playing everything else. You know what is required if you want to play a slower. You know, like Hisang Farah.
Yeah,
Flex around, play all that other stuff. Like I just feel like this is Crazy Raccoon's time to shine.
just looking at how they, yeah, because last time Falcons
We're not in the Amalgamate anymore.
And then
We're not,
they
but I
won
just
Bren.
think I just think they look so good comparatively. Falcons, they're really. I mean, Raccoon is really really good. They haven't shown to me across like, and the meta swaps can literally change everything, so it might be unfair. But they just haven't shown to me coordination wise that I feel like they're going to consistently beat Falcons. I don't think it's impossible for them to beat Falcons at all. I think it's like if you put them in the simulation chamber, it would be like a 51-49 thing in this current meta. I think like Falcons would win like 51 matches. Raccoon with 49.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it'd be
mean-
very, very close.
We might not have Mauga at Falcon's disposal, but there's so many elements that still kind of like play in their favor.
There's so many
you know, like-
archetypes that they can
There's so
play
many
that are good for
archetypes,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like kind of like brawl
Dude,
kind
what
of
is their
compositions that they can
head-to-head?
still play there.
Let me look. I want to look.
And even like Hazard, well, you know, has a leap and dives and engages and all that stuff, right? Like,
Yeah.
this might sound fucking I just think that like that is a hero that Hunting can pick up and be like.
I just feel like across the board, when
bad.
you've seen raccoons play in their history too, like they've always been really good, but they just have never been as coordinated. They've never been as cohesive as Falcons have, and that's like the main issue with like beating them is that you have to be better than the coordination wise. You have to be like hitting more consistent cooldown usage. You have to be hitting like having your dives, and like they're really really good. They're just like slightly below them still, even with the meta change. Unless this meta really does just like destroy Falcons.
Dude, their win rate, their head-to-head over the last year is Raccoon winning 63%.
Yes.
And then obviously Falcon won last
But
time.
Falcons
got it
show
there.
up. They show up, bro. They show up when it matters.
Crazy
Yeah,
Raccoon.
they really do, and that's the thing. Yeah.
I got
Falcons
Crazy
shows
Raccoon.
up when it matters.
I want to go
believe.
Crazy Raccoon as well.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Sorry,
I mean,
Connor.
I'm not mad about it though, because like I said, I think you put them in the simulation chamber, 51-49. So it's like so insanely close.
A coin flip, yeah. All right.
Let's do a 3-2,
Give me that.
and then Falcons beat versus Pro.
Yeah, just
3-0.
a 3-0, 3-1. 3-1. VP are good.
No,
They'll get that map pick. They'll get that map pick as well. They'll get that map pick as well. Don't listen to
I
them.
don't give a fuck, bro. They're not even gonna win a single map against
Okay, fine.
Falcons. It's
Fine.
not happening. All right,
Fine.
Crazy Raccoon Team Falcons. I think this will be
4-2. That's a classic
exactly.
scoreline.
This will be
for
like 4-2.
finals.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Very classic finals.
And there you have it. Our bracket, Plat Chat's bracket for OWCS Champions Clash. We got Crazy Raccoon beating Team Falcons in the finals. Virtus Pro getting third as the best non-Korean team after taking out Space Station Gaming. So Space Station gets fourth.
God, we
5-6 is Nightmare once again.
God,
And 7-8 is Alcadzia Team CC. I can't wait for us to be wrong.
We scammed the hell out of once again, but
Dude, I feel so bad about not making once again go further.
let the record be known.
I am
I've once
fully
again going way further.
Yeah, I will be betting once again on the main broadcast. I'm telling you that now.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Here we go.
What a fucking
Plat Chat
screenshot.
guarantee. AVRL.
Dude, Avril is fucking dead.
Dude, what is the
that's
time over there right now?
I don't know.
How is
Dead
Several
time is
not
what
up.
it is.
it's like noon over there?
It's noon. It's literally noon.
I have a feeling that either he just doesn't know, or
He might have
he's-
forgot.
Maybe his internet's out.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. All right. So yeah, apologies that there's no player rankings. I'm going to fix the YouTube title now because that was actually the YouTube the title of the entire episode. But we went on for a really long time, and so we're gonna end the episode here without that segment. But we hope you enjoyed this episode. Now, there is one last segment here we gotta do before we end, and it's Bren's Player of the Week. Now, recently we're making some changes to the show. I've been reflecting, I've been taking feedback from a lot of people in the community, people who like the episode, people who like the series, and I do appreciate that feedback, so they'll keep it running. Now, last week in particular, we got one piece of feedback here, and it was related to Brand's Player of the Week, and so I'm going to take this time now to highlight Roy's comment here 2 days ago. I really enjoyed this episode, definitely my favorite recent episode, which is great news. It was the Kenobi episode with AVRL as well. Constructive criticism, though. Johnny! Exclamation point.
Spelled wrong.
Several recent episodes. I don't know how I spell my own name. Several recent episodes, I've
always spell it
ended
like
frustrated. 50-second Brent's Player of the Week segments, knowing you don't give a fuck sucks. See you next week.
So true, bro. Roy getting Bren's Player of the Week this week. Thank you for the constructive criticism.
So here's what I'll say.
That's
here's
great.
what I'll say. Someone put a 50-second timer on the episode, by the way. Here's what I'll say. It's not that I don't care about Brent's Player of the Week, because first of all, that's an insult. That's an insult to this show. I care about this show, okay? So don't you dare challenge my passion for this show. That being said, I never come prepared for Brent's Player of the Week because I leave it as like an open table discussion where I want other people to pitch in and come with ideas. So I don't do any preparation. I don't go like looking around the World Wide Web looking for like the most craziest news and the most impressive heroic feats the world has accomplished in the previous week. Matt is amazing at coming up with, brilliant shout-outs to like TikTok stars of the recent week and stuff like that. And another person who is fantastic when it comes to Brent's Player of the Week is Avast. And so, given that we have Avast on the episode, I am now pleading, I am begging for your help here to make Royy proud and really make the most of this Brent's Player of the Week segment.
I have a perfect one. Literally perfect. Solomon, check the video. Bring up Le Poisson Steve. Bring up Le Poisson Steve. Bring him up. Bring up Le Poisson Steve. Le Poisson Steve is the player of the week. Il est orange. Il est orange. Le Poisson Steve. Bring him up. Ete Jom. There it is. Bring it up. Bring the short. We need a short. There it is. That's the one. Bring the no. Go right there. But I need audio. I don't think we're gonna get copyright strike. I don't know if we will.
Dude, this guy's.
Le Poisson Steve. Steve. The orange. Ete Jom. Le Poisson Steve. Le Poisson Steve is your Bren's Player of the Week. He is a orange fish. He's an orange fish. He's got arms and legs. And I think in response, Royy, this is what the channel deserves, what you deserve for Bren's Player of the Week. And frankly, it's honestly better than what you deserve. And so I think this is my gift to you, Johnny. This is Le Poisson Steve.
This is good. He kind of looks like Connor too.
I don't know how he looks like me. I'm not a fish or orange. I mean, I do have arms and legs, but
That's Steve.
Thank you so much, Avast.
That's my TikTok. That's my TikTok. I'm sitting at the top of it. I love Le Poisson Steve, man.
Dude, Le Poisson Steve.
Yeah, he's good. He's good stuff. There you go, Johnny.
Thank you so much, Avast. That's really made my day.
Just playing. Oh, that was good. Brent's Player of the Week.
Royy, please hit us up. Leave a comment down below what you thought about this week's Brent's Player of the Week segment. Hopefully this made you happy, Royy. And yeah, as always, I will, against my will, read the YouTube comments to listen to any feedback you might hear, including whether we ranted too much about weird kind of stuff at the start of the episode. But nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thank you so much, Avast, Jaws, for joining
Thank you,
me.
AVRL.
Shout out to AVRL.
Yeah, thanks, Avril. Thank you so much, Avril. Oh, thank you. Avril did great
We need to
stuff
get some
today.
flowers for AVRL, really.
Yeah.
We do. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Solomon. Do that. Pick'ems. If you want to make your own Pick'ems bracket for Champions Clash, check it out. Pick'ems.gat. That's GATT.space. So if that's confusing to you, just bring up the video. If you're listening to Spotify and you're like, what the frick did you just say, Johnny? Just bring up the video. Pick'ems.com. Pick'ems.gat.space.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. Check out the Pick'ems website. It's clean. It's clean, Solomon.
Looks really good.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. Look at all these colors. Love it.
Stuff.
Convenient. Schedule.
Shout out Gat.
Shout out Gat. Yeah, there you go. Shout out Gat. Would love to see the work, Gat. It looks gorgeous.
Unfortunately, not Brent's Player of the Week is Le Poisson Steve, but
yeah.
No,
maybe
you are Brent's Player.
Maybe next time, Gat. We'll see. Let's see. Plat Chat page.
That would be good. I'll be down.
Oh, then we're talking, Gat. Then we're talking. That's a multiple Brent's Player of the Week. That's right there.
Then we're talking Gat.
Then we're talking Gat.
So true, bro. So true.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning into Plat Chat Overwatch episode 262. My goodness. Thank you so much, AVRL. Hope you all enjoy Champions Clash. And we'll see you next week for the recap.